Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change. It's Fed Day. Everyone sitting around waiting for the Fed announcement coming up at 2 p.m. this afternoon. We'll get the latest decision on interest rates from the U.S. Federal Reserve. And of course, the more important statement that will accompany that, talking about the state of the economy and everyone watching out for that, I guess, four-letter word, taper. Now, nobody wants to hear that taper word, but we'll talk about that coming up. So 2 p.m., the big announcement coming this afternoon. The central bank's been buying $120 billion worth of bonds each month since basically the pandemic started. So whenever that tap starts to turn off, we'll see a little bit of a pullback in, or should see a little bit of a pullback in the overall markets. Coming off a bit of a muted day yesterday, we did get a pullback from record highs for both the S&P and NASDAQ at the close yesterday. You remember things back in negative territory ever so slightly. Big tech leading the way to the downside late in the session yesterday. Individually this morning, we'll look at the meme stocks, those squeeze stocks, if you want to call them that. A little less active this morning on the volume scale, but they are moving around here, so we'll talk about those. Negative moves for Chinese EV names, XPeng and NIO, both to the downside this morning. We'll touch on those coming up, and travel stocks back on watch as well. Some upgrades again this morning for the cruise lines. It's Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at North American markets at this point. You can see relatively unchanged at this point for the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P. TSX futures here in Toronto down 0.14%. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum back in negative territory as well to kick things off this morning. It is Fed Day, guys. We are awaiting the announcement coming up at 2 p.m. this afternoon. I mean, we're expecting things to be a little bit quieter this morning ahead of that. Has nothing to do with the interest rates. Obviously, everyone waiting to hear what the statement that comes with it will say.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes you do see depressed volumes, and guys, don't worry. I mean, Sean's obviously right here. You saw the position board; it was Arun. That was a little bit of a technical glitch. He did a fantastic job, but Mr. Katina is back in the house, and just in time for, as you mentioned, Fed Day. So everyone's going to be watching closely. See what kind of action we have here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other moving stocks. So I know it's lower volumes usually in these types of days, and the overall market might not move until that 2 o'clock. But you've got Roblox, which is, getting slammed this morning here. Just bounced off 80, so that's a pretty good level so far. And then we're going to be watching. I mean, some of the memes have been winding down. Oracle. Look, the earnings weren't bad. The guidance certainly wasn't the best in the world, and that's why they're going to be to the downside. It made a lot of sense to me. So we're going to be trying to trade what is active. That is the key today. Whenever it is Fed Day, you want to make sure you are trading active names and not getting chopped around. Unless you're like market making algorithm or something like that, you want to anticipate and find that movement in the markets. That's what we're here to do for you guys here today.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, I just realized I forgot to hashtag sticky notes. So anybody of you guys looking at that, you can get that. And that's exactly me and Neil saying the same thing here. We're expecting the markets to be pretty slow as we'll wait for 2 p.m. Eastern, guys. So the Fed announcements here. It's Fed Day. We'll see what they're talking about with inflation, and it should be a good one. We have some very, very specific names on board there, and you can see them here. Same as what's on our watch list: AMC, BB, NEO, CCL, Roblox, Palantir. So we'll wait to see if some of these levels can hold out. It should be a fun day. I mean, I bought some. I actually forgot to tweet this out yesterday. I wasn't here in the afternoon. I bought some Caterpillar. So we're into that name now as well, trying to diversify a bit. And I'm basically in this much cash. So not good. We'll wait to see. Hopefully the market doesn't go down, or I'll have to be depositing some more. But right now we're fully invested. Bought some Caterpillar yesterday.
Love Caterpillar, good one.
Yeah, got to go into some industrials. I'm very, very heavy into tech. So got to do some of that. And we'll look at some names, man. It's going to be a fun day. We're excited. Thank you to Arun. Again, yesterday afternoon, it was a great show. And life goes on. And we'll just wait, guys. This might not be the most exciting day, but hey, 2 p.m. is not too far away.
And that's why we're here. We find the ones that are moving and find the opportunities as they arrive this morning. So thanks for joining us once again. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss B.
Good morning, guys, and happy trading day. I wish you all the luck, and please make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. We'll have a quick look at the top 10 traders list from here at Day Trade the World from yesterday. Big numbers coming out still yesterday. Some more muted action as we saw, but wide range of markets here. You can see number one, 36,000. The NASDAQ New York coming in number two, 35,900. Some more U.S. action here down to 4. You can see Canadian content there. Canada TSX Venture, not the big board, but the Venture, the CSE as well. 12,600 at number 5, I should say. So still lots of opportunity in this market. Lots of volatility remains. But as we said, today might be a little bit different. Let's talk about tapering, guys. Do we see the taps get turned off today? I mean, it's not going to be anytime soon that this happens, but the simple mention of that coming at some point, maybe Q3, maybe the start of next year before they actually get to it. But if we hear that word, what's the reaction going to be?
Look, I mean, the way people think about that timeline is that until you're done tapering, that's when you raise rates. You're in a situation where the market seems to think you're going to have a couple of hikes by the end of 2023, and the Fed's saying they're not necessarily doing anything at this point. So you're sort of meeting in that little bit of a middle, and we're right at that 14, of course. And we look at the NASDAQ today. If they hint that there could be starting tapering soon, I think you're going to look at those techs start to get growth. You're going to see growth start to get hit. There's probably some places in tech that I think you can hide because it's probably not going to be that bad. But and there's going to be that move, but maybe into some of the beat up cyclical names. Like Caterpillar's pulled back. Sean just mentioned that one. That's one that I definitely like. And look, in inflation, you have two sides of this coin because most people tend to think that this is more about the fact that it's you're coming out of 2020, which was an extraordinary year, and you got to go 2 or 3 years back to look at the historical, to look at the averages, and in that particular case, it's not really all that bad. But the way I kind of see it here, and I'm not a lone wolf. I think there's a lot of people that look at the market this way, saying when you have these crazy price increases, at some point it's going to bleed over and hang around a little bit. I mean, I know rents aren't up. But if it's harder to find people to work and the economy is booming and you're going to raise, and people have been saving more and people are eager to spend and people are going to be going out and demanding to get paid more, you're going to wage increase. You're going to tell me that rents aren't going to go up in a situation like that and aren't going to sustain for a little bit. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. That's why I think being a little bit defensive, like I've been adding to like Pepsi. I like Caterpillar. I didn't get into it myself, but that makes a lot of sense to me. You look at some of those industrial names. The commodities could be a different story because they're pretty overheated at this point, so you want to wait for pullbacks on your things like your U.S. Steel, although there was a recent opportunity in Cleveland Cliffs. That was a bit unrelated. So there's a lot to digest today. I think overall, don't overreact to that immediate moves at 2 o'clock. Because oftentimes you get a lot of head fakes at that time and sort of digest it. As the market's digesting the release and then some chatter and the talk that comes from Powell, I think that's when you want to start settling in and making some decisions. But don't rush in because it's gonna be crazy right at 2 o'clock, 2:15, and then things usually settle down and get some real direction.
Yeah, I mean, you can always look at gold. You can look at some of those other plays. I mean, oil is going to be hot fire. I mean, oil has been absolutely off the rockers now. 73, $74? I mean, here's an oil chart right now. So oil's just been like, how many days in a row now? Like it's 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's a couple of red days here, but either way, man, like we've just absolutely taken off. I was actually trying to call tops here on oil when we hit it once, twice, 3 times, and I thought right here we would fail again. But that's the charm, straight to the upside, 72 and change. So I think as Powell starts talking, when he's talking about inflation, he could have won the day because the thing is lumber prices are off about 45% in the last month or so. A lot metal prices down 25%. Neil just mentioned a couple plays there with Cliffs, and copper's down I think 23%. So it would have been fine if not for oil. So I think that he's going to have a little bit of problems during the question and answer period about inflation and what that means as far as some of these plays. You can see ExxonMobil as well, straight to the upside. I have to do some more work and we're just so busy, but I really like puts. I just think XOM's been way overextended here on the daily chart. But I mean, if you watch oil, maybe it has more to go up. So I like some of these commodity plays into today, but we're just going to have to wait to see, like we keep mentioning, man. 2 o'clock is going to be a fun time. I don't think the plan is to not do anything with the numbers until 2023. So if Powell starts talking a little bit, outside of that, like they may raise rates a little earlier, then yeah, you're going to start to see this market have a little bit of a fit. So just be very, very careful with the wording. And I'm excited more for 2:30 when he starts taking questions, especially about things like oil and inflation. So I expect no change at 2, and then we'll see the wording and how the question and answer period goes at 2:30.
Speaking of inflation, we just got Canadian May core CPI year over year, guys, up 3.6%. in this country for core CPI. So not as high, obviously, as the U.S., but still higher than I think most would expect. Let's jump into some of these meme stocks, squeeze stocks, whatever you want to call them. As we said, kind of, a little bit muted as the whole market is this morning in the pre-market here, but still trading, still volume being done. We saw AMC kind of move back to the forefront yesterday and on Monday as well, as far as volume traded is concerned. But what do we do with, or what do we think of these ahead of the Fed today?
I kind of want to say to myself, okay, well, it shouldn't matter too much, the Fed. But if you get too big of a move in the market, look, let's be honest about it. Like, there are some big traders that do trade these things, and if you get an outsized move, like maybe something crazy to the downside, like Sean mentioned, you get some taper talk, and then you get a crazy move to the downside, you're probably going to have to watch out on some of the memes. I know they've gone inverse at times, but if things get extreme enough, you could definitely see some crazy action here as well. Now, AMC in particular. The volume seems okay. It's not quite as good as it's been in the pre-market, but not too bad. The problem here is it tested this 60 level again, and if you guys are going to remember, like, you had a 60 break right off of the open. They couldn't really get past that 60-60, and it was like the same thing the day before. It was like 60, and it couldn't get past 60-60. And then we come right back into the afternoon, and then there was a 60 level here. Kept trying to break it. I know VWAP was up there for resistance too, but then stalls at 60-60. It was actually support over there. And then you're making this pre-market high at 60 even. Now, the way that I kind of want to approach it here today is I do like the short and a couple of other meme names probably a little bit more. Like, I might look towards like Wish. Just because I feel like if some of these are going to come back in, Wish could be the name that I want to play here. But that same level still looms on AMC. In the afternoon show I mentioned, and of course, I don't know why it doesn't show my last fill. Guys, you guys were watching the last, like, I actually got out right at the close of the last of this 57.40 long for only like $1 winner right here. But it did have that all kinds of resistance. There was a good wipeout floor at that 7 a.m. price, that break at 57. So it washed through, couldn't get past that 3/4 mark, and then bounced right back to the upside. So I think that level and then 55 are your two sort of support areas for AMC. And then look, it was a 60 level 2 days ago in the afternoon. It was the 60 level yesterday as resistance. It really made a good effort to get through, but couldn't quite get to that that lower high at 68. And now we're talking 60s once again on AMC. I'd just rather play the weakness in some of the other meme names like a Wish.
Yeah, no, okay, I was actually looking for an email here that I can't find, so okay, we'll move on from that. Yeah, so look, I don't want to disappoint anybody. People are talking about AMC. We wrote down on the sticky note, and of course you can find that to watch 56 level, and then obviously the 60-50 break. I'll just give you a little bit of a longer term here on the 20-minute chart for AMC, and I have another name too, BlackBerry, I want to get to before I go. Okay, so here's 56, or sorry, where's 56? Yeah, right down here. So 56 and change was this sort of area right down here where we kind of gobbled up and we're looking to see what was going on just about last week. So 56 went up to 59 that day, back down to 52. So, there is some areas here I think we're going to fall back down in. 55 is a little bit of a better spot, but if you just move up, here's 56. So tops on this day, right? And then bottoms just 2 days ago. So we'll watch out for 56 level. And then I actually don't mind the 60-50 break. It doesn't look as good on here, but yesterday's high basically in the afternoon, Neil was just focusing a little bit on that for his afternoon trade there. But 60-50 on a high side for AMC. And there it is. Well, I'll see if I can zoom back out here from yesterday. Yeah, so it's right here. So there's 60-50. So we break through there. I definitely like the long. It's just going to be the action. Just like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, I would definitely go long right now on AMC. I mean, we got to wait to see what happens. I would definitely go long on this break for sure. And then I'm going to be long back down in here, 57-ish. If this falls back down, we got some 57 bids right now and watching to see what happens at that 56. So it'll be a tight trade. But this is what, again, very, very beautiful holding up here on AMC. So congratulations to anybody that basically did not get shaken out. No weak hands in this move down from 56 down to 40. So that was a scare right there. And then it just goes no and comes right back up. So that's important. But the thing I want to talk about quickly about AMC and then go over to BlackBerry is this is disappointing to me. This is the imbalance locator for now. I know it's only 8:45. It's still early. But how many times, if you're just joining us for the first time, maybe you're seeing this now, but this is the market on open indicator. So what's called the imbalance locator, but it indicates market on open orders. And right now, for the NYSE, there's basically nothing at all. We'll talk about Palantir in a minute. But yeah, there's nothing. There's no AMC, which is what is the most disturbing to me. I was hoping it was beyond here. And when there's nothing on here, I'm just going to try to find it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, here it is. AMC. There. So look at this, guys. 2,000 shares to sell, 2,000 shares to sell right now, and they've already paired off 100,000. So, I mean, considering that this stock can do 500 million shares in a day, this is not that much interest. So we're not super excited about that one. But I am excited about one of its cousins here, BlackBerry, because I like this break a lot better. We're right here, man, at 1350. We've touched 1350 a couple times. Bang, bang, bang. We come right up to that again today. Bang, right here. Yesterday's bottom, 1350. So, you know, that's where we bounced off the open. So let's watch out for 1350. I'm going to be in this name. And again, this is the big one. I should have started on here. This is the one that I like the most, this BlackBerry. Oh, and I added MindMed, by the way. Jim Cramer did a piece on MindMed yesterday. A good piece. And I actually meant to see it. It ripped up 8% yesterday on this Cramer piece. Oh, today it's a little bit back down. So we'll see. Only up 3%. So we did reach highs, and our servers don't go. It was yesterday about 6:30, 7 o'clock. MindMed did touch about $4.
All right, let's go to EV land real quick, guys. There's a couple of separate stories regarding electric vehicles. I want to start with this one. If you remember, Arrival from the UK up here, 12% today. We're right at essentially pre-market lows at the moment, 22. But recent high territory going back to the IPO, if you remember, for ARVL. They tweeted a picture yesterday of these, the vans that apparently are ready for trials. So the EV delivery vans, good to go for Arrival. So up here as well in the pre-market.
I don't know, the market's like, I don't believe you.
Those look pretty good, actually.
They look solid, but you look at what happened here in the pre-market, and you get the 7 a.m. Look, we see it a million times, guys. You get that 7 a.m. ramp on a gap trade, goes right to, I guess, 25, which is, you know, that obvious round number, and then it is now given everything back. So, you know, I sort of stare at this one, and on decent volume, by the way. So it's done like 1.5 million shares. You look at the daily, however, which I know Brennan had up as well, and then you sort of. Here's my cursor. There it goes. And then you sort of look back at this, like that 22 that we just saw, right? Like you're looking at this. This is 2150 on the daily. So there's like this little gap between 2150 and 22, where I think there's like a pocket of air that the stock could possibly fall into. It also made sense where it turned at 25. It just felt like one of those like pump it to the obvious level at 25, and then get the fade right back into that 22. Now there is potentially, I guess, support, like I said, at 2150 so it's 2150 to 22. But I'll be looking for this if it comes back up, and maybe not 25. You got to look maybe at like a 24 lower high, or 2350 for one of those open sort of fade trades. Like it pops at the open, maybe fails VWAP here, catch it in the 2350 range off of 24. If that doesn't work, you look at that 25. But those levels just sort of stand out. That I think the structure of the trade is going to be there. You know, if I had caught this one a little bit earlier, maybe I would have been shorting at 24. Did not, so didn't do it. But I will be looking at this off the open for the short side of the trade. It gets sold off that heavily at 22. I'd rather see it hold that pocket of air on the daily chart at 2150 before I'd go into the long. Although it's not like you have a horrible price area right now.
So Roblox finally here breaking that 80, and we missed it. I mean, it was on our sheet for Roblox to break 80. We missed it, but thank you guys for bringing it to our attention. So we're going to go light right now. Obviously, you guys know that it's only 850. We talk about, you know, what to do when it's this kind of market. We're going to wait a little bit now, but we do have one piece of short on, so now we can watch it. Looking back at Roblox here, we'll average into 80.50. We'll watch out for this 81 level if it does come up. And then to know we're wrong, you know, I think we got to look right around here, like 83. 83.84. So let's wait to see if that does happen. You know, obviously, if I'm going to be holding out for 84s, this is not going to be like 1,000 share or, you know, even 500 share position right now, anything like that, because we can't give that up to $4 or $5, right, to be wrong. So let's wait to see on that one. We will average in. We do have more shorts ready to go. I have bids on AMC, and my BlackBerry idea is to go short at 13.50, not long. Thanks for asking for that one, Steve G. I guess I wasn't clear enough on that, but I do have another offer right here to get short on Roblox if it does pop back up. I'm okay with this position. It's just we're already down 11%. We will talk about this soon.
All right, guys, let's have a quick look at some analyst moves for today. I'm going to mention these coming up here. The cruise lines, the entire group, getting an upgrade today. So back in positive territory. Some of the individual airlines as well in positive territory. Not a lot of volume again this morning, but looking a little bit better. Dish on here as well. Pivotal Research liking Dish. Sage Therapeutics. We've dealt with that one a few times on the downgrade side today.
I mean, catching a couple upgrades there. I mean, Royal Caribbean was on that list as well. I mean, the short was okay. I mean, it worked through that bottom, but, you know, I'll kind of go back to CCL after what was a decent trade, but didn't have as much follow through on Royal Caribbean yesterday. And look, you're going to get this bottom at 28.50. Just showed you there on the daily. Oh, no, you want to go? Yeah, we'll show my trades on the 25th, but we're slowly to come back in. There you go, loading back up. But this was this big move. We're actually trading it here on the 25th. And you look at this like 28.25 bottom here, and you're bottomed out just a little bit higher than that after that multi-day move to the downside. So you catch a little bit of an upgrade as well. If you're basing out, and this is the idea of, you know, this is a bit of a turn. I like a couple of levels here. If it wasn't for this this pullback price and that breakout and then holding higher, I don't know if I'd like it quite as much. But then you get yourself a 29 break. So I'm sure I could look at RCL and might have a similar pattern. But I'll go back over to CCL after what was, I think I made a couple of 40-cent winners on RCL off that short. But for an $80 stock, I'd like a little bit more than that. So I think we're going to go back to the well with CCL. It'll be a 29 break for me. Pre-market highs at 28.99. We like to round up.
Yeah, I've already tweeted this out already about CCL. I do like that 29.25 area right here. Yesterday's high in the open, and then we'll wait to see. It did, you know, cause a sort of a fall here. We do have 29.50s. It's, you know, on that upgrade by, it's only an upgrade by Wolf. I'm not, you know, it's not like a major upgrade, but we'll wait to see here. 29.25. CCL's been beat down a little bit here on the daily chart. We're only up that 0.84%. 268,000 shares, not bad. And here's the drop it's had. So I just wonder if the reopen trade may be affecting this a little bit. We'll see again. There's so much things that Powell, you know, could wind up saying here, but we're going to be scalping these things off the open, right? So the show goes only till 11 o'clock. So we'll trade the open as if it's a normal day, but just be very, very patient with some of the moves. We may not get those monster moves, as a lot of the big money is going to wait for 2 o'clock.
Have a quick look here at some big tech stocks, guys, but we have some dark prints on our charts. We'll look at Netflix. Here we go. Netflix. I mean, this is, you know, an extreme example, but some of these FANG stocks specifically, but Apple, Microsoft, they did come off late in the day yesterday. We did see some selling come into the NASDAQ in general. Netflix was pretty choppy here at the close, but pretty negative overall on the session. Apple's chart, not even worth pulling up at this point, but it's worth watching these going into this afternoon specifically. We did see quite a bounce to start the week, Monday, you know, into the early trade of yesterday as well for tech stocks. What do we think of these today?
I think there's going to be, like, again, if we get that sort of taper talk and you look for vehicles to play the shorts, I mean, you can obviously just maybe go to the Qs, but something like a Netflix, and you look at the daily chart, which is going to show you what's basically been happening here at this 500 level. Like, it's in a bit of a chop zone here, but you do have slight resistance at 05 to 010, and then you've been holding like a 470 to 480 area to that downside. Like, you could see that tested, no problems. I don't know that, you know, one of these big techs will be the best place to trade. I mean, people have looked at trading gold at that particular time, or as I say, why not just jump into the Q? It's probably the Qs. It's probably your easiest way to go about it. But, you know, if you're sitting there in Netflix and like wondering what to do, if you do hear that taper talk and we get a big shock to the downside, there is some support that maybe you don't want to let break. Now, the overall story on Netflix is not so bad. I mean, if you've been long this in a while, it's been a fantastic return for you. But you can see essentially what's been happening in this entire like $100 range, just back and forth. And this has been going on for like a year now in Netflix, where it just can't seem to get going. That's probably why to the downside, I think it would be the FANG name to beat up on a little bit here. Whereas I think people might find a little bit of value in picking up your Apples and your Facebook, maybe more so like a Facebook on a downturn. I know there's some antitrust issues there, but sometimes I feel like that gets overrated in terms of negatives on the individual stocks. So, you know, Netflix could be a good one to look at. I would much prefer trading moves in the queues if you're going to, or stick to some of the, look, for me, we're going to be trading the meme names, but Netflix looks pretty weak.
Yeah, no, I love Microsoft. I mean, I always go back to the well and the kitty if you're wondering what to trade. I mean, we've really traded Microsoft quite well over the past 19 years, I guess. 263.50 there is the all-time high on Microsoft. So we'll see if that gets, well, it's 263.20. We'll see if that gets taken out. Not today, but very, very soon. It's been a nice move up. It's just kind of rode this 50-period moving average all the way upside. I still love Softy. I think it's one of the best names to look at. Oh, man, yeah, we do have those wicks here. Good call there, Brendo. And then the other name that just made all-time highs yesterday that I was pounding the pavement on back and forth, man. I mean, this was Microsoft.NZ. What? Okay, Facebook.NQ. Here we go. You know, just made all-time highs yesterday, right? And so we've been loving Facebook for a long time. And this is what I mean. Like, people, we have even people in our circle here, me and Neil, still friends, obviously, with a lot of our friends from high school. And, you know, some people left like our WhatsApp chat group because they were worried that Microsoft was, or no, sorry, that Facebook was going to be, you know, stealing everybody's information and things like that. Well, you know, that happened like around here, like 280, 270. And when I start hearing people talk like that, then I just buy the stock, right? So that's what I do. And we buy it and then it rips upside. We tweeted that this was our #1 mega cap stock that we liked at these levels. I like Apple now because it's not moving, but there's a nice little bump up there on Facebook. And the reason why I say that story is because of what Neil mentioned as well. And that is that, you know, the more regulatory issues that I feel these guys have, the more chance that there's a possibility that they have to be broken up. And I like if they break up these stocks like Microsoft. They won't do anything to Microsoft, but Facebook or Google or things like that for, you know, some competition or whatever. The FTC wants to say something about some of the streaming, some of these guys, or just that they have their hands in too many cookie jars, kind of like what happened to Alibaba, and then all of a sudden Jack Ma goes missing. I don't think anything's going to happen to Zuckerberg or anything, but we are very, very excited for Facebook. And if there was a major cap tech right now that's breaking out and making all-time highs, there's Facebook and then there's Google. So if you want to get the legger, I think you got to go with Apple or Microsoft.
All right, guys, let's jump into what is moving in the pre-market this morning. We did have a little hiccup with the site this morning. We apologize for that. Everything seems to be fine once again. So make sure you register and grab the morning note that we send out before we come on every single morning. Absolutely free to you. Let's get going here on a few things to talk about before we get to the open this morning. Let's get through some of the meme stocks this morning. Sean, you were talking about BlackBerry there. One that has kind of taken a bit of a back seat over the past couple of days as far as volume is concerned, but we are seeing, you know, BlackBerry, AMC, even Corsair pretty active here again today. Yeah. Look, Corsair, we called that top yesterday. It didn't work out. CRSR. Hopefully this is on NASDAQ. Yes, sir. We win on that one. Okay, Roblox starting to go against us now. 80 cents against us. We'll talk about that in a minute. That could be like a meme stock, actually, Roblox. I mean, the way that thing's trading the last couple of days, definitely some nice moves. Okay, so Corsair, we talked about this on the day that it broke through, man. We talked about taking profits on these kind of moves. When all of a sudden a name comes out of nowhere on Reddit, you know, Wall Street Bets, it's a little bit of a thing. I can show you the exact chart of Wendy's and you'll be like, wow, that looks exactly like the Wendy's chart pretty much, right? So it breaks out of this range and just rips up to $42, $43. We actually had this whole move. We were long at 40. We made a lot of money on Corsair, but then yesterday we gave some back because we did take, I can show you maybe yesterday, we did, oh, yeah, here we go, perfect. So some of my, so my bad trades show up. Thanks for that. So there's a 37.50 break that we took. And why did we take that? We just thought there was some little bit of a level here. If it did take that, we wanted to go back. See, okay, I see you. So here's the longs on, see? Like, this is the thing, like, some traders will talk about their trades. Neil and I, we show them on the board. I told you we were long 40, like, here's long 40, out 42. Here's a couple longs, we lose on that. Then here's a long in the afternoon. How about this one, 38, all the way up. Anyways, these are past days. So today, I just don't see that much action here. 77,000 shares, that's kind of the point I was getting at. We're now back into these levels here, you know, on Corsair. I don't love any of these bottoms. Maybe we see one at 34.50. If you go back here and we squeeze this out, let me pull it up on
on a 20-minute here, and then I'll give Neil could probably. I do want to short BlackBerry, so we'll talk about that. I think maybe Neil wants to do that as well. But here's Corsair right here. These are these nice little bottoms. That's all that I want to bring to your attention here. 34.50. So we could go long off there if you do like the company. They make great products, and I just think that there is some sort of, you know, a little bit of support down here at 35, where we've made that high the last couple of days before this crazy breakout. So there's the breakout there. And again, if you look at it on a daily chart, this is why I don't mind this stock if you're buying it at these levels. It's why I kind of said Wendy's at 25 was decent, just in case you get that pop, because you're just back in. Like if you take away Monday, Tuesday, Friday, you know, all these crazy days where this stock went off, I mean, it should be, let's just pretend nothing happened. It would be like at $31, $32. So the fact that you can pick it up at 35 with some upside surprise, I like it. So I'd be a buyer of Corsair here.
I want to jump. All I'll say about Wish is I want to be shorting that one. I think you got to look at some of these, and rightfully so, BlackBerry as well, Sean. And I'm shorting into 12 on Wish if I can. I'll short a breakdown as well, and I'll look for that 930 short. So in terms of like failing off of a significant level, Go EV. I know everyone is asking about this, and we're trading this one in the afternoon. I took a hit. Sometimes our trades show up. I don't know, like if you refresh enough a bunch of times here, which I have in the morning, they end up disappearing. So you guys know if you're watching the afternoon show that I did try some breaks to the long side, and then we settled right down in here, closing at 11 bucks. Now we're gonna fail at 7 at 11. We're gonna test 11. You guys have seen this setup before. Run in the afternoon on news. You've had this sector make a bit of a bounce recently, which is coming back in. You see Neil pull back down, and then some pressure in some other names. And then you're going to look at that 11 level. And look, for me, it's just, and it's not to say that I'm doing it because the long didn't work, but I kind of have to look at a fade at that 930 off of those 11 area. You have cover at the top, which I wouldn't necessarily use. That 11 even and that particular close gives you some cover to short in that 1080 range, this was a chop support down here, like 1070, probably into that 1080, 1090. So I think shorting in that range for me makes some sense. I think anyone looking at it from that standpoint is likely to have an 11 stop given how strong it was, as opposed to giving it all the way to the high. That's the approach I would go with here today. I think you really would love to see, if you guys are long, you really would love to see continue to hold this 1050 to 1065 area because that was like a segue on the way up, and then you had support there. So the fact that it immediately retraced that, tiny volume, guys, tiny volume is at least a bit of a decent sign, but not enough for me to avoid the short. Now, it's thin enough and the volume isn't big enough, and you see like a 7-cent spread on a $10 stock. So I'm not going to just sit there with orders at this particular time, but I think it makes a lot of sense for me around 9:30 or after the open to try and get into a short if it comes up to that 11. So that's my thoughts on Go EV. I also will say this: you're going to see this pop in on my blotter today on KIN. This is a leverage buyout. It is $9.25 cash. The level 2 looks like this. I'm going to show it to you here. This is what level 2 looks like. It's basically going to move a couple of pennies at a time. I'm going to be in and out a lot. You can see I'm making the spread on it here. That's all I'm doing. Unless you have direct market access, you're probably not going to be able to do this. I do it in my sleep on the side while doing the show for you because I've been doing it for like 18 years. So it's not likely a trade you guys are going to get into or think will be interesting, but you'll see it pop in and out quite often. I've already had 148 fills on the stock today.
All right, yeah, Canoe, a big one yesterday on the list this morning. We'll touch on that if we can before the open again. Let's get into some of these Chinese EV makers we saw. Actually, before that we do that, let's get a check on the futures here. We'll bring Arun in. Throw you a curveball there, Lucas. We'll bring Arun in, talk about what levels we need to be aware of here ahead of the big announcement coming at 2 p.m., Arun.
Yeah, big announcement. This is the volatility event that we've been waiting for all week so far, and the market's been quiet. You know, I think going into it, it's going to be quiet. We had the best opportunity for some activity would have been this morning off the open, but given where the market's at, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, you have 42.20 to the downside. That's support's been in play for the few since the beginning of the week, so the last few days. And then 42.60, yeah, 42.60, but that's a weak level. It is a level, but it's a weak level that we put in a couple days ago. So in terms of action, you might be able to find a long. I tried a long yesterday in the afternoon on the afternoon show. It didn't go anywhere. I ended up getting out flat right at the end. And we're sitting right at those prices. Now, if we can get into the low 30s and we set up, and again, it does have to set up. And because of how quiet it is, I need a proper setup. So I'm willing to take a shot on the long side if we can get set up on the low 30 side of this. But otherwise, I think you're going to have to wait until 2 p.m. or so. And how do you trade if you want to trade the Fed, how do you trade it? Well, not right away, because the initial moves And remember, it's a press release, right? The very first move is going to be off the press release, which is going to be a statement, and it's going to be algorithmically traded, because you're going to have a lot of algorithms reading this and parsing the information and immediately sending out orders. So you're going to have a lot of back and forth action. You might see a move in one direction, and then a few seconds later you'll see a big move in the other direction, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and then it'll eventually settle down. And then we'll kind of figure out or digest this information, figure out what we want to do, and then we'll go in one way. And then you have, about half an hour when the Q&A starts, you might have a complete reversal of that as well. So just be aware, there are kind of checkpoints you have to work with. The first couple minutes is going to be algorithms, then you have some trading potential, and then at 2:30, you may have an acceleration or a complete reversal based on how the Q&A goes. So just be aware of those events, and then towards the end of the day, you would have to pay attention to the imbalance as well, because at that point, a lot of people may have gotten the information they were looking for. The imbalance might then move the stocks and the futures towards the close as people kind of make adjustments on their order books and right into the close. So checkpoints to keep an eye on, and just be very careful on how you trade around that 2 p.m.
Thanks so much, Arun. Best of luck. We'll check in again with Arun coming up tomorrow morning, guys. We have under 30 minutes to go. Let's continue along here. I mentioned the Chinese EV makers all kind of looking like this chart so far this morning. NIO actually a little bit better off here, just down 2% now. It took back 44, trying to hold 44. China's EV Post reporting that in the first 10 days of this month, manufacturing overall for Chinese car manufacturers down 36.6% year over year. If you recall, back at the beginning of May, when we got delivery numbers for all three of these, NIO, XPEV, and Li Auto, they all kind of warned or were a little bit cautious, saying that the chip shortage was going to affect them going forward. So, I mean, almost to be expected here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the chart of NIO and like pull up the daily, man, because essentially you get this move, and we had the wipeout in March, and that was to like 32 really, and then you bounce right back up to like 46.5, right? Gets retraced, bounces just shy of that 32, and there's also a cluster here in a breakout. And then when we get this nice rally, we're right back into this 46 area from before, and then it was turning around. So you were probably turning around at that price anyways. There was resistance going to be there. This is probably just the catalyst to get that first move down. I'm going to pull up the 15-minute chart just so you can sort of see here. There is this, this sort of gray area, well, not gray area, but like 45 at the top here, previous high. And then you have this bit of a low here, guys, and there you go. And then you have this little bit of a low here where we closed at 45 even. I think that could give you a temporary like ceiling to kind of play this if you want to the south side, which, NIO, you have to really pick your spots if you're going to play it on the short side and think that that's going to be a bit of a turn. So using that negative news, I'd wait around for like 45 if I could, something a little bit closer to that. So if it gets bought up, I would certainly like that level. There was also here right at 44 to 44.25 or 44.5 where we're right now. In the middle, there is a bit of a muted level there, but I kind of feel if I'll be patient and see if it can't get into that 45 and fail before I would take a shot at NIO. If it gets back above this without even testing 42, then you're probably going to make that move right into 47. But just given what you see on the daily chart, I'd probably lean into testing the short first off of the 45 level before I jump at that long. And obviously 42, I think, stands out. It was a breakout. It was a support level before here if you go into last week. So if it gets down to 42, I think that's where your dip buy would be in today. I know it's a far away, it's a price that's far away, but with the negative news and just coming off that level on the daily, that's what I would lean into.
All right, just going to, there's some good news coming out here. I just want to call up Ford quickly. There was some news about GM here. Will boost its EV investments. They see better than expected results despite semiconductor shortage. So we went over to Ford here just to have a quick look. A nice little bump on Ford upside just because we're staying in, and this is just EV news. Let's just check out GM, the actual company that reported this. And there it is, a nice little bump up there from 61 all the way to 62 now. So we'll get some of that information. I mean, Brendan will have it for us in a second when that does come through. So I'm looking at GM and at Ford today off some of this news. I do like some of those levels on NIO. It's been heated up, that stock for sure. Okay, so we did go long on AMC here. We've talked about about why and where and what. So and now we just wait. So we're going to wait for that 56. We talked about that as being some possible support. We are now long on AMC, but we're kind of catching a falling sword here, guys. This has just been straight to the downside this morning. You wake up, it's 59, 60 bucks right there, and then now it's trending to the downside. Looks like it wants to take it out. So we are take out 56. So we're bidding again. Soon we should be into another long here in a minute to average into this price, and then I don't know where. There we go. There we go. So there we go. Just took that long right now at 61. I'm going to give this back down to about 56. We'll average in a little bit more on this name, and then we'll see where we can go. But I do like that 56 level. We talked about why on AMC, and again, it was kind of like picking at straws a bit here. Like, this real level here is 55, 50, but we touched down 2 days ago at 56. So there's the bottom there. It was really 55, 50, but I think if we crashed there was 56 back here on the 8th, 56. So we're coming back in to this level that could be supported. You may want to look even a little bit lower to start to build your longs. Yesterday, in a few days, we did like it down here, like 52, 53. We talked about 42s down here. So it's been a big move for the last couple of days. So no surprise this is going to give back a little bit. We also talked that there was nothing on the imbalance locator for it. So let's have a quick look again. Maybe this is what's creating this. No, still nothing. So it's still very, very small, man. There's nothing on here. Roblox still a sell as this is starting to get heated up right now, heading down towards 56. Our average price, we're light on this one, guys. We're light on both Roblox. Well, we're not super light on both of these, but we are light, whereby it's not going to hurt us. Because again, you got to watch out. We still have 20 minutes to go. Although it seems like we've been on for 40 minutes, because we have. But right now, don't get too excited about some of these plays. Let's see what happens around 9:20, 9:25. But right now, AMC is crashing down to that level. I'm not going to hold this past 55.50, that's for sure. And then we've been averaged in here a little bit to our Roblox. We didn't get any of these high prints. I don't know if this is going to go or not, but right now we're into 2 positions already. They're both against us, but they're trades that we want. They're the right direction. We just got to hopefully the market participates with us.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this AMC on the bounce, and 55.50, you're absolutely right. By the way, on Roblox, I was on the other side of 81 to offer, wanting to use 82 and 83.50 as stops, and 81 had an iceberg. So there was a bit of a seller at 81. I might jump in front of that in the pre-market here, but some concern with that AMC because I really did think we had a chance to hold that noon level from 57.40. Looks like that has not happened, obviously.
A few things to be aware of on that GM announcement. I'll show you the headlines here, guys. This one first over here, GM targeting 1 million in EV sales by 2025. They now expect this current Q2 to be better than expected. And then what Sean was mentioning there, 35 billion through 2025 as an investment for EVs. So yeah, GM definitely one to watch here coming up this morning. Let's talk about travel stocks. We mentioned them briefly early on. Some upgrades again today for cruise lines as we head towards more of a normal society once again. New York State lifting their last pandemic-related restrictions yesterday. Was great to see that. Yeah, it was Wolf Research, outperform rating for all three, 32, 36, and 94 on the price targets.
Yeah, and look, we talked a little bit of CCL, and just a quick recap of where we come up with some of the levels here. You're going to see that top that got made in the daily, right at that 50 period. You're going to make that's not a washout bottom, but you make a bit of a bottom here at 28.40. And when I zoom back, there was a breakout at that price. You get 29 even. Now you're splitting hairs here because you can look at this cluster here with quarters in the middle, and then look at that recent low and like that. I like the even dollar break. It kind of lines up there with the 28.99 pre-market high. So I'm going long through 29 even. On CCL, of course, I get into Roblox, and that iceberg at 81, gone. So it was there on the offer, but now it's gone. So I got in front of it at 78 here. I like 82 as a first stop on Roblox, but 29 long on CCL. It did just hold that level. So a bit of a pullback. Sometimes that can be a good thing, not blasting through in the pre-market, but we'll see. I'll get into this one either way at 29.
Okay, I don't even know what we were talking about. Yeah, I'm still looking at Roblox. We're looking at a bunch of stuff. We've already talked about CCL a little bit. I think that's what we were on. Yeah. We already talked about CCL just a little bit there. I like a 29.25 break, and you got to look. I always go back to this 20-period chart, and I want to say thank you to Leo as well on the chat. It just does, it means a lot when we get those kind words about learning and trying to teach you guys some of the strategies and what goes behind our trades there. But here's 29.25. Some bulked up areas there. We did dip down there a little bit to 29.25. We are coming back up to this. I do like the upgrade. It's on the watch list here as an upgrade. So now we'll wait to see if we could take this out. 29.20, 29.25. If Daryl's on the chat, he'll probably chip in a little bit about some of these CCL positions as well. So we'll see here. 29. I think we could take this level out on that upgrade. But again, the NASDAQ's upside, the ES is just barely flat. So I'm not sure, like 400,000 shares isn't bad for CCL. So if I was going to pick anything on the reopen, like a Carnival, Royal, Norwegian, Cruise, Save, Spirit, things like that, I'm always biased to CCL. I've had the most luck with, not luck, but I've traded this the most, and I think we'll stick with CCL for today. So I'd like that 29.25 break. And then you have so much support down here at 28.50 that I don't think it's going to be a big hit, even if we are wrong. So let's wait to see. I don't think this will be too much affected by Powell, the cruise lines, but we'll wait. I mean, if there's something, if he says anything that surprises people, then the market's just going to get turned upside down anyways. So we got to wait to see it at 2 o'clock. But for the open trade, I like CCL. Let's see if it touches that 29.25.
All right, let's go to DraftKings for you to get through here. Still DraftKings, nothing new today. We had the Hindenburg report yesterday. They did respond to that late in the day yesterday. There is an interesting level developing here, guys, just under 49. That was resistance a couple of times. Support so far in the pre-market as well. DraftKings, though, trying to claw its way back up here.
Yeah, look, DraftKings was a fantastic short, and it was trade of the day yesterday. So Sean was here. He did the trade. He had the trade of the day. DraftKings. It was a great short on this pop back up at 48. So if you caught that on the way down, if you were really fast on the news, maybe you got it. I've tried that same level in the aft, and then it had a double top, as you mentioned there, Brendan, at 49. So that's why that obviously piqued my interest. It's broken this level a couple times here today. I mean, I'd written this one down. I don't like DraftKings in the pre-market. You guys have heard that probably a million times, but I don't want to take a 49 break. It looked like it did it a couple times here, and I'm glad I didn't get into that position. Maybe you got 40 or 50 cents before it pulled right back in. And if your cover is that previous 48 level, or maybe all the way back into 47.25, then I can tell you there's no way that a 40-cent move is going to be good enough for you there. You're looking for this to recover all the way to 50 to 50 and a half. The previous, that company they partnered with, what they did 5 or 10 years ago, I just don't know how relevant that's going to be. There is so much regulation when it comes to gambling. You'd think that someone would have caught on to this if there's a lot here, but Hindenburg has a decent, I don't know, they have a bit of a track record. Nikola, of course, I guess worked out for them, and a couple of other names as well. So you do want to make sure you have stops into the long side of this trade, but I do want to take a chance at maybe defending that 48 level, or maybe down into this 47.30 if it wants to bounce there. You want to see holding higher lows the day after these short seller reports. For now, DraftKings looks like it's doing it. I'm going to caution against the breakout trades. For myself, I don't want to do it because I almost never win taking a breakout off the open in DraftKings. I can't think of the last time it worked out for me, but sometimes you can catch a little bit of a bid and then give it that one stop. If it can't hold that, forget about it.
Yeah. So here's the trade. I'm just looking at Palantir. I'm looking at a few different things, averaging in obviously to the Roblox trade that we liked, that we talked about early. So we'll wait to see if that one happens. Yeah. Here's the trade of the day yesterday. DraftKings. We get that Hindenburg report. Bang to the downside. We actually short 48, and then we get out at the very bottom. I mean, I don't think you're going to see a tick like this. 45 even. We talked about why we like that. And then again, this is where I really say thank you to guys like Leo and those of you that are on the chat that keep talking about education. This is why I called this one the trade of the day, and the market didn't even open yet. And it's just because we had this. We talked about it. If it wanted to go down, we were going to keep letting it go down. We actually gave up 50 cents here. Oh, actually didn't even print us. We were bidding 44.50. We give that up to go out of this play. So we were thinking if it was going to continue to drop, we wanted to get out at 45. That's exactly what happened, man. 45 was the bottom, ripped it upside. So that's DraftKings. I'm not going to do anything until we see something like that again. I mean, look at this big move up here in the afternoon, bounce off 46.25. So if we get down there, we have some some support at 46. And then other than that, I'm not really super interested in DraftKings, but really nice recovery back to the upside, man. This may be an opportunity for all of us, to be honest with you. You just follow me. I just tweeted out about Caterpillar. I may get out of DraftKings if we do revisit like 50 again. I'm very, very long this name in the 30s. And yeah, that drop down wasn't scary because it's more of a long-term play, but that move back down yesterday could have kept going if there was any teeth to it. And then, we get this sort of gift that maybe it was just like sort of a I don't know, like a witch hunt on DraftKings. So let's wait to see if we get back to 53, 54. I think you got to pair some off if you get back there. So if that happens today, we'll get out. But again, a high growth stock, not much value. So very, very important to see what happens today to some of these names.
All right, let's go to Roblox. The next one here, sharply lower aftermarket yesterday, continuing this morning as we've seen the daily active user numbers. They came out with a whole bunch of metrics between May versus April that, for the most part, were to the downside. Specifically, the May bookings per daily active user number was down about 2 or 3% year over year for Roblox, guys.
Yeah.
Still making about the same off those users, actually maybe even a little bit better. So, like obviously you're going to be some ups and downs early on in the game, and maybe this has something to do with where it came from as well, because it's still a rich valuation about people's estimations and failing at 100. I'll go to the daily chart. I said 83.50, not pie in the sky. I looked at that previous resistance level. You're bouncing off the 50 at $80 even here today. So, I think that's why I wanted to fade it today a little bit more. But I'm already into the short, and off of this, that next level was 82, and that's a pre-market base, and then post-market that was a bit of a bottom as well. So short there, and then looking for that 83.50. If that can hold, I would probably take a second crack at it on Roblox. I just feel like there might be a little bit more to go on this one before you get that little bit of a dip. I think people will be all over this if it gets back into those 70s. This could be one of those watershed. Like if today you actually get a bounce and then hold, and this ends up being the low. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to sort of just get momentum bullish above 83.50, but remember what's happening at 2 o'clock. If the Fed even mentions the word taper, like this is one of the names here with its valuation that you got to start thinking about, could it be under pressure as well? So I would caution, just because this, if it does hold 83.50 or break back to the upside and then find some support at these levels, I would caution if the Fed sends some of those tech names and some of those high valuation and growth names to the negative side. Then all of a sudden, that 80 becomes a downside break for multiple reasons.
Yeah, we're long. I mean, we've already planned this trade out for you guys for a very, very long time. I already called that same level, man, 83.50, 84. We'll wait to see what happens. I just took 2 shorts there. Oops, didn't mean to take 2 shorts, but we are now double short there. So now we just averaged in more here against that 82. It's just been straight up against us here. So this stock, we're getting closer to the open, so that's why we take a little bit more there. We still have these prices up here, 84, 84.50, 85. You can get up to 86. Look, I cannot... I don't know. This is just one of those momentum names. We're probably going to be wrong on this. It looks like this has just been a big win for anybody that's invested in this, including my kids. I mean, you've seen a big move up to 104. We're just doing it with play money. That would have been a great out. Obviously, something's happened in the last couple of days where we've come down. I don't know if that number was leaked or anything, or if people just knew more about Roblox than obviously we did. So now we'll wait to see. It's coming back to the downside. It just ticked through its 50-period moving average. That was another reason why I like the short, but we'll wait to see what happens now on Roblox. It just kicks to 82.20 there, and yeah, now it's breaking out to the upside. So I don't know, man. We'll wait on this. Our AMC is coming back in a little bit here. We didn't get any bottoms at 56, which we should have. Like, I don't know where my orders are. I'm not really focused too much here. So we should have got that. We already talked about it right here on the list, man. I mean, look what we wrote. Look what, I only wrote one note on here. 56 as support, AMC. So, I mean, it goes down to 56, and then it bounces up 50 cents. Seems like good support to me. So that's a good call there on AMC. Unfortunately, I don't know why I don't have any bids down there. I thought I did, but I didn't. So now we'll wait to see what happens lower side now with AMC. But we got to put some more bids down here. I'm going to do it right now in case we retest 56. But it's coming in, man. Only 7 minutes. Like, all these levels could get cracked before the market even opens. So be very, very cautious here with only less than 7 minutes left.
Yeah, Roblox starting to go get above that 82. I jammed more shares at 82 level. That 83.50 is coming in. Sorry. Choking here a little bit. I got to get some more water, get that hydration on. Wish, oh my goodness, I look at gift horse in the mouth. It broke 11. It could have given you like a quick scalp win, but at this time in the morning, like 10 cents. Probably not what I'm looking for. It's right back into this level, and I always look to previous lows. So look at that 11.11 or 11.10, 11.08 technically. And if it gets anywhere near this level at 9:30, that would be where I'd like to add, or I'd be waiting for this to come up and test 11.25 there. So I still want to play this one for the weakness in the memes. And AMC, I'm sort of in the same boat. I haven't added to it yet because there was that 55. Come on, AMC. There was that 55.50 level. If you go back. That we did like, and we've tested this now 56 a couple times. We've already broken 57 even. So I want to see it bouncing off of this at the open, maybe catch that to more shares long. I guess getting it on the way down or before 9:30 might have been the way to go. I might have missed the boat on a chance to reload this. If it goes to the upside, Wish could also be in trouble. So I have to keep that in the back of my mind. I've only gone long at 57 and 57 alone here on AMC.
Do you have the CEO, guys, on CNBC currently? She's been on for 10 minutes or so, but just said they're going to add 2 additional battery plants in the U.S. as well for GM, so worth noting. Let's talk Oracle quickly here, as we only have, a few minutes to go here. Oracle, I mean, the numbers, the EPS, the revenue numbers, both beating, but it was the forecast and the cloud forecast that was not good for Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, the guidance wasn't spectacular. I think, and I said this yesterday, I didn't really see too many. Of course, it's still on AMC. I don't know why that chart doesn't want to flip. So come on, flip over to Oracle. There we go. And apologies for that wick, but I said it was going to be a lot of trouble for them to be able to go to the upside, regardless of what the report was. That ends up being the case here. It made sense on the daily to take some profit. But just looking at this tight range that you got in here, guys, you have to start. That's a ridiculous fill I just got. You have to start considering like this 78 as just even a bounce back price. It could be an interesting one for me here today, just for the off chance that you get a bit of a long off at the open. But I'd much rather fade off of this 80. This is certainly going to be a name to watch at 2 o'clock. We talked about Netflix, but you start thinking about the fact that the reason Oracle was going to the upside, it's that old sort of tech idea and the slower growth guys. These are like 3% growth on revenues is what they're essentially guiding towards, and that's why they got most of the push. So it would be interesting to see if it does become more of a defensive name and finds a little bit of a bid if you get that taper talk. But I like to fade this one. I look at that 80 and you go to the daily chart here. There was 80 to 81, which had previous cover. I just see Oracle having some trouble getting past that in today's action, especially before the Fed. So I'd wait patiently. If you like the gambling side, maybe take a 78 long thinking it'll rebound. I'd much rather fade 80 to 81. Of course, I know I'm fading Roblox. That's not necessarily working out just yet, but Oracle, different story, obviously.
Okay, so one last stretch. Okay, now 82. So right there, 82.30. We just took another short there on Roblox, 83. So that's turned out to be a good one. Now we're coming back to the downside. We did piece off a little bit there. Just nervous. We were back into this area there with the open coming in just 3 minutes. We're going to piece out a little bit of Roblox. The damage is actually. It's really not that bad at this point on Roblox. We did take a nice spot there. This was my largest average in out of all of these. It doesn't help my price that much. My price still 81.50, but we're coming back in now. We did like the 80 short. So when that did blow up against us there, we're basically forced to average in. This was silly. I got a little excited. I saw you guys on the chat talking, and I even said thank you to you guys for bringing it up to me that it was breaking back to the low side. But now we'll wait to see what Roblox has for us in store here off the open, which now, hey man, we're actually much better now on this position. So no problems. I mean, it's a problem, but we'll wait for it. BB BlackBerry, let's take a look at that quickly before we go. We're right near that bottom that I like, man, 1350. Let's see if that takes it out, and then we will go short on that. And then again, because it's that opening trade, it's not one that I'm going to love to just hammer into the short. I'd much rather take it if we come up to 14. So we'll average it up into 14, and then if we get broken out, I mean, I don't know where it's going to have to be wrong, maybe 1475 or something, yesterday's high. I just don't believe in BlackBerry today. It does big moves off the open, so if we are able to catch something up here, we'll take it around 14 and change. I don't hear anything in my ear, but I hear Brendan patiently waiting over there. So if you are you guys ready for Brendo? Sure, let's go, Brendo.
All right, guys, quickly here, SPI Energy, a couple of minutes here, up on EV charging related news. So this reversal that just happened was on heavy volume to the downside. So it did break 8, slammed right back down quickly. So just took the short there versus 8. But watch 850 and then the top 875, 870 area for SPI, guys.
Damn, that's a good looking short. This is one that sort of got away. Now, look, I mean, AMC and then, of course, Roblox, and then that Wish also triggered in as well. And this one looks really good. I think I don't know if it's going to happen because Brendan just showed you, but if it did pop in, I was actually going to talk about this regardless. If it does pop into that 8 to 8, and I call it like 835, I kind of like that range here. I was trading it just above that price, really like 7 o'clock. So if it does come into that range at 830, that's where I would like to be able to fade it. If Roblox cracks that below that 82, I want to start taking some profit off. But one of the other ones that we were talking about was Wish. I got an offer in case it pops to like that 11.25. It just turned at that 11.10 range, but because there's a minute to go, I'm actually going to allow this one to open up first before I get into more shares. I just don't feel like it makes any sense to jump the gun on there. And then Go EV. This did make a bit of a test, and I wanted this at 9:30. It did make a bit of a test into that $11 range, and is now fading off. So if I had put that trade on, I would be decently in the money, like 15, 20 cents. But I did say I would rather wait until this one opens up. So gonna stick to that plan. AMC, of course, is the one that, well, look, everyone's gonna be talking about AMC, whether it's a meme stock or not, but it is on support levels here, and it's trying to bounce off 56 again because there's 30 seconds. I'm also letting this one open up before I add to this position. I'm not taking anything off. 55.50 is sort of that line in the sand. So, if it doesn't break that, then I have no reason to get out of any kind of long position. I don't know that it makes sense to have been in a long position unless you want to hold at that level. It was definitely a good one before. I think it can hold again. I think Ms. B is on the bell. I haven't turned around here. There she is. Let's drop the countdown. It is hump day. It is Fed day. Let's see if we can't get these markets holding green. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's get this party started.
All right, then. It is 9:30, so we're already into AMC here. We just took a low bid here off 56. Let's see where it opens. Looks like it's doing exactly, yeah, there it is. I was going to say, it looks like it's doing exactly what we thought it would.
Oh, immediately trying to break that
back down there off that open. So maybe we can get a pullback into the long here off AMC, guys. That was a big crash.
Oh my goodness, this is me. Like, it crashed right into that 55.50 and then immediately holds it, so I try to get more shares in. That's cashing on the way up. Now, if it now makes a lower low, that's when I'm going to be getting out. So I'll look at 55 even. If 55 even goes, I think I have to give up the ghost and look for a different level here on that AMC. I can tell you CCL triggered in immediately, guys. So, whoops, a CCL, not CCC. CCL broke that 29, so I want to see if I can get some profit out in front of that 25 mark. I'll just take a couple of legs out in front of 29.25. Then I look at that 29.50 area as sort of an obvious line in the stand. What did I just say? Line in the sand. We'll go gates of hell for Roblox. I said if it got below 82, I will start to take some more shares out because I want to reload in front of that 83 and that 83.50 if we can. And then if it gets towards that low of the day, I would watch. I mean, there is some caution that could actually hold up. But that 83 looks like it was the better level than the original 82s.
Uh-oh, your boy's starting to cash in on Roblox. So here we go, guys, right back to the downside here on Roblox. So a nice little move back down. We cashed out some there, cashing out now. These are all profitable trades now on RBLX. So, and then here goes BlackBerry as well. So another banger here for us. Hopefully on BlackBerry, we'll take a little bit out at 40 if we can get it. We talked about going short through 50. That does crash all the way to 36. Hopefully we'll get some out at 40, and then we'll re-see what happens at the bottom here. But Roblox, man, starting to go back down. This looks like this could be a profitable trade. We'll get some bids out here at 80 now, just around here, and then we'll see what happens on Roblox. Now down to the downside. Good trade here for sure.
Oh, I easily missed from my chart. Look at this. This is a level here, 11.28 on Wish. I put a stop at 25 instead of 28, so misread my chart. This should have been an absolutely like perfect entry in here, and then actually a hold on that 22 that I got, but we didn't. I'm going to get back in when it consolidates lower, so I am back in the game, and I should have been out of this one at all on Wish. That's just misreading the chart. The stop should have been in here at 11.28. I'll get back into it. As I mentioned, CCL looks like it is still trying to be able to get going here. That's that 25 mark. It got to 30s and then pull back. I'll take a dip buy, but watch out because we just got back above 55 on AMC, so it does break that level initially. And then that 55 level. So I told you guys I would get out of it. And then if we did retest, I was like that jam in. It's a fail break if it doesn't take out that next obvious level down, which could be $1 or it could be previous support. In this case, I look at that buck. It gets back above 55, so I could sort of get right back into it on that failed break hypothesis. So it's more or less a failed break trade than anything else on AMC down here at 55.
Yep, we're long as well, back now on AMC, so let's just see what we can do here. We're long right now, 55 evens. It's been a little bit of a mess going around here, so we'll get some out now if we can and just get it long here. We've just been long out. Some profits. We did get out at 54.50. That was the big out there that we talked about. We didn't want to hold it past that, but yeah, it looks like it just tried again to get going. So we'll see if it can take out 56, 57 here on AMC, but it did hold that 54. It's going to test it one more time. What's up, Brendan?
Big mover both in the morning yesterday and late in the day. This Alfie, guys, just popping back up on huge volume through 6 initially. You can see the print came in, but we're right back below. So trying to head downside for ALF.
Alf. Okay, we are taking some out. I mean, we're watching this BlackBerry here as well. Obviously, we'd hope for this one to come back in a little bit to the downside there. So we did take some out at 40. We're going to average into 14. We did talk about that one, guys. And then Roblox right now is trying to make a move. Okay, come on, AMC. We are long right now, 55 flat. So it's only 50 cents in the money. I want this thing to go, so we're not taking it. Roblox puts us right back to flat there. And again, we don't take it out. So right now we are short 82 flat now on Roblox with some lower bids. Let's see if it can go. That's going to be hopefully a good one for us, but we just need it to work out. Here comes 81.80. We're downside now on Roblox. Hopefully through 80 is my target area.
Yeah, and I'm going to look at this CCL, and again, it's going to test this 29.30 area. So I'm going to look at this recent high. I'll take another quarter out here. It didn't give you that dip into 29, but we'll go with power up for that trade. I'm not going to go over Roblox again because I think basically the same thing off that 83. I reloaded some shares off of that top. AMC, I was just about to say if it was holding at 55, I should be getting more shares in off that wipeout little bottom.
Boom.
Now it gets to this 57 level, and it makes some sense to take some profit off. I still want to find a place to buy a dip. One more time, so I'll try to trigger in here below that 56 mark if we can again. Sometimes you get that wipeout low and you want to re-enter the trade when it then fails to take out the level below it there. That's exactly what happened here on AMC for now. I think there's a potential if we get consolidation down here on 55, you can start to think about a 57 even break. For now, I want to be buying the dips. That's my preferred method. And then Roblox, it is what it is. Like, I got tricked into the first short because of the iceberg at 81. The levels were 82 and 83.50. Sometimes it happens to you. I don't know why I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth. I just had a bid off of 81, almost exactly at 81, and I should not look at a gift horse in the mouth. I should try to take it out here. Some more shares out here in front of that 81 level. Look, at 82 to 83.50, that's what I had written down, and then I get trapped by something on the tape. Right, so you read that level 2, you see an iceberg and you like the short, and I play off of it, and the second I'm in that position, that iceberg was gonzo. I could have just taken it out when it broke 81. Lesson learned. Roblox now, a fantastic trade, but it should have been way, way better than this off my original levels. Brendan, what's up?
Orphazyme, one we've checked out, I think it was last week actually. Yeah, this thing popped up. ORPH just popping up here. Was doing not much really in the pre-market, but not to say the least, but it's doing something now, guys.
Okay, so again, off of our sticky note, man, we're all over this thing. There is CCL, a banger from 29.25, upside, bang, bang, bang. Out there, some 45s, out some 43s, out some 45s. So good trade there. AMC, we just took 55s long. Our best out right there near VWAP, 56.40. That's a $1.50 win there on AMC. And then Roblox, man, it's cash shitty right now. We talked about that. I'm going to give a shout out to you, Steve Turner. Told me to get out, and we held it. So we stayed a little bit patient here and able to make money now. Roblox back in the green. So hit the cowbell on that one, as Roblox is the banger that we told you it would be. We didn't have that much confidence, but we told you it would be down to the downside here. Let's see what happens back down near 80 now on Roblox. Man, this is only a $2.50 winner now for us on Roblox, so that's going to be a good trade there. Yeah, next time, I guess, when I'm in trouble, I'll take a little bit more shares there. But there it is, a nice little out there on the downside. Let's see where it goes now. I want to be right, so I want to be right down here at 80. But this is a big move down, and maybe you should take some out if you did have some shares still on Roblox. CCL still moving around, and then AMC, that dollar winner, and then BlackBerry comes all the way back. Oops, that's not BlackBerry, that's CCL. Here's BlackBerry, comes all the way back. It goes up to 1378. We were waiting a little higher than that, but now that we know some levels, let's start offering in the 50s and 60s now as BlackBerry tries to make a move back to the downside. This is turning out to be quite the day.
Yeah, it's a good day, but I'm kicking myself on Wish because just ticked above that 30 mark and then turns around again. So twice I've been stopped and still in the range-bound mode of this trade in Wish. Now watch out. Look at this 1080 bottom from yesterday, and we still haven't taken out this 1150, and I want to be shorting off of 12 as well. So there's plenty of levels to work with, I think, on Wish. If it makes a test higher, I'd probably patiently wait for 1150 as an out. Otherwise, there could be this 1080 break, which is still looming. So I might have a crack at this one again. I'll probably be leaning into the short side on Wish, as I mentioned, if I'm playing those meme stocks that way. AMC looks like it wants to continue to hold above this 25 mark, flip chart, hold above this 55 mark, I should say. I tried to catch this little dip here at 55.60. It stalled out at 56 even. Brendo?
All right, so that ORF guys, FDA reviewing one of their treatments today, so we could get something today or tomorrow on ORPH. So a heads up, Mankind had positive news regarding one of their treatments as well. Was up huge in the pre-market. We've come all the way back, but trying to bounce here, guys, for MNKD.
And then KD, remind me of KD, good little move there last night for Kevin Durant, bringing the Nets back to life. Congratulations, anybody on the Nets like I was. That wasn't looking good. I almost tweeted it out. What side should I be on in that game? We did go with Brooklyn. It was looking bad for a while. Congratulations to anybody who watched that game. Kevin Durant definitely showing up yesterday, that's for sure. Basically no Harden, no Kyrie. Okay, back to trading. Okay, so here comes Roblox, man, right back to that 80 level. These are the levels that we talked about. We got a little bit too jiggy with it in the pre-market, but straight back to the downside here. Let's crack through 80, man. I mean, this is what we gave you, so I can't be more happy with this idea that we had on board, man. Roblox now coming right back in. I hope that you hit this and hit it hard with us as we throw you into the gates of hell, Roblox. Let's come to the downside now as it keeps coming back down, 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 down. Break yourself, fool. Let's see if we can break 80 to the downside right now. If that happens, then we are monstrous. There it is. See ya. Adios, amigos. Nice knowing you, Roblox. You are now a nice stock. We like you a lot better than we did before. But hey, man, if we don't cover, we don't make any money. So here comes Roblox to the downside. Just breaks 80. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's that 79.50, which is right here in the pre-market. It got to that low. So I think if it puts in a higher low, you got to target where you want to get back into it. I mean, the first level is going to be that 81, which was a trap. I still going to prefer that 82 to 83.50. We'll go back to the well when it comes to that. CCL just pulled back into VWAP. So 29 break, a fantastic one. We'll walk on water for the 29 break. It gets to that quarter. It tries to get to that 50 before pulling back. I just took a VWAP dip. Now you zoom in just so you can see. This last dip buy, like forget about this 29. It was really down to about 29.10. So if it tries to hold this level, that's where I would like to add. Otherwise, it's going to be right back into 29, where we'll take some more shares in CCL. Brendo, again, what's up?
Forward Industries up here early on as well. 32%, guys. Just got a volume alert on this through 360. Yeah, it was up in the pre-market, but not really doing a lot of volume. We had that news aftermarket yesterday. They signed a distribution deal with this Chipolo, which is a device tracking company. So Ford, not that Ford, but Forward Industries moving.
Literally Ford.
Diamond hands it up for AMC, man. We're still long 55. This is now, I mean, we talked about 56 being support. Unfortunately, it does dip down. I mean, you're not going to probably find anything worse than that, but we're waiting for that 54.50 out. But that's okay. That happens. We get hits, banked. Excuse me, no doubt about that. But then we take the long again and out. And now we're holding one last piece as it tries to get to that 57.50 area where we first bought it in the first place. So we may take some out there at 57.50, but I'm going to try to hold this in case this is the dream that we all want it to be today for AMC. Let's see if it keeps going upside. That's going to turn out to be a good trade. BlackBerry also, guys, another one. We hit this one and coming right back down to 40 again. I'm hoping I have some bids here at 40. I do. I have one at 38. So a nice move down on BlackBerry. We also called this one. So hopefully you're enjoying the sticky note today. It's been a pretty good one as we go. So CCL, BlackBerry, Roblox, and AMC, the three names that I've traded. And we forgot to look at Palantir, so we'll do that. BlackBerry right now, I don't know what's going on with this 41, but it seems to be holding, as does 42. So right now, it's a little bit of a fight here. I think we're going to win this. So let's see if 40 breaks, then we have a bid at 38, and then lower, 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 and we'll just keep on winning here with BlackBerry, guys, hopefully.
Yeah, and look, we talked about a lot of names here, and I got to go EV because you guys wanted the thoughts on it. Obviously, it was a lot moving, and I had a bunch of trades here. So at 9:30 when the market opened, a little bit distracted. But yeah, we talked about that setup. Make it test that $11 area, which it did at 9:30. Well, I mean, it's like 9:34, and then the rollover from that price. So this is what I was looking at. That's what the setup looked like for me. Could have been a 50-cent winner. I was trading AMC, Wish, CCL, all of those at the open. Speaking of CCL, it is coming right back. Looks like we're going to get a test of that support, that 29 again. It just stalled out here again. It took some at VWAP. That's where we were taking profit before, actually. And then we're going to look right back into this 29. If it wants to hold this bid, I'm going to plop myself in front of it on CCL and see if I can't get a pullback long. The same thing will go with AMC. It just pulled back into 55.5. Remember that support level from before? So let's see if AMC holds a higher low. If it does, scalps them out to 57, and then look for 57 to get taken, I guess, more definitively, which it hasn't yet. Brendo?
Sean, you mentioned MindMed, not MindMed. 8.25% here. Big volume just came in at day highs for incoming for MindMed.
Yeah, exactly. And someone just asked me where I'm going to go long, and we should have gone long already. But the thing is, the volume's just starting to pick up now. There wasn't much volume in the pre-market, so I don't really see that. But we did talk about that. I want to shout out, someone messaged me yesterday about MindMed and that they were on with Jim Cramer. So that's always a good sign because, you know, it gets retail back involved here. So $4, we're looking at that break for MindMed. So that's going to be one that we're going to look at here, just tipping up to 4. I mean, it's really 405, but we'll see if MindMed gets going there. So thank you for the questions on that one. And again, it's on the sticky note. We added that to the sticky note late. AMC pulls all the way back. BlackBerry, though, guys, like if you want to talk about a trade that we've absolutely destroyed. And again, thank you to Steve G on this one. BlackBerry, 1350 short break. Guys, multi-day low. So, I mean, if you're just going by this, then you're absolutely laughing. Oh, yeah, and what about where I said Palantir long? That's worked out pretty good. All the way to the upside, it does fade back in. My bid is at 23.81. It goes down to 86. So, should have got a little bit more jiggy with that one as well at 24. Nice little run up here from MindMed. We did take some out there on that. I mean, once it went to 80 and didn't break, or it broke 80 but then came right back, we did get some out at 80.40 there. So now you see a big average price for us on Roblox. It's not going to be a huge winner unless we retest down here. So just because of our average prices is why it looks like we have a big winner on. But realistically, it's only going to be a big winner if we come back to 80. So I'm not going to ring the register on trades that I have a negative profit on, right? That doesn't make any sense. Miss V, nice jacket. What up?
Brennan?
There's been, yeah, we'll go to V in a second here, guys. Just want to mention this one real quick. SoFi. There's been a lot of positive talk from analysts on SoFi the past couple of days. 5% here, about to make a day high. Rosenblatt Securities, the latest to add it to their buy list, guys.
Of course, DraftKings 48. So we add that one to the list of like, this is why we go over these stocks in the morning, guys. You're going to have a full board here. You're not going to catch every single trade. Support at 48 as opposed to a 49 breakout. And it looks like either one would have been good after the open because this is your 49 break and that's your 48 support. That's way better than AMC. So Hindenburg, Schmindenberg, I suppose at this point. Look, you're still staring this 50 in the face, and this stock did that move on the news in the pre-market off of a 51 level. So there's still some room to run here. I don't favor breakouts in DraftKings. Maybe there's a dip into that 49 level we can take a look at. Miss V is at the big screen. What you got?
Hey Neil, Torchlight Energy is up more than 20%. Could you give us a quick look into TRCH, guys?
Traded a bunch of Torchlight yesterday. You know, it sucks. Sometimes the trades show up. Previously, sometimes they don't. Torchlight now breaking through this 616 high from yesterday's action. This was a gargantuan sort of short, giving you like $1.50 worth of or $1.40 worth of a move to the downside. So the fact that you're spiking up and immediately trying to fail through that price, it hasn't yet. But you want to be holding that on a bit of a dip. If you're, look, it's dipping right in here, but it's holding this particular level. You get below that, and that is yesterday's top as well. It becomes pretty bearish below 6 because you have a stop at that 630 level. For now, still looks like it's on the move, breaking out 40 million shares worth of volume. But the other one that I guess the more present concern for me is that AMC, it now makes that bounce off the bid, so we always like to catch it. Well, I mean, ideally, I want to catch more shares usually on the way up as opposed to the way down. This is the opening range bottom. That's an ugly stop out, but that was at 55 level breaking. It now holds 54.40, which is a bit of a higher low, so I'll get into some more shares there to be able to reload. And then SPI is another name here, and we talked about this one being a potential, sort of flash at 9:30 off the open, and then testing that 8 to 8:15 level. Even 8:35 gives you some cover. I'm now short this one at 783 in front of the 8 level.
Okay, yeah, so we did exactly what we, there's the bid again, so we're going to hit that home run again on AMC. So let's wait to see. It's not a home run. These are just little doubles and singles right now. Long 55.40 out there for 50 cents. Remember, we just kept going 50 cents, 50 cents, and then this time we had that $1.50 in the money. We didn't take it, so we'll take that 50 cents, and we're still loaded up on CCL, on AMC. So let's see if it can go upside again. Targets now maybe 56 off this 54.50. If I'm taking 50-cent moves, I should probably take dollar moves as well. So here it comes to the downside. That's why you rinse and repeat all the time here right now on AMC. It's trading a lot differently the last couple days. So let's see if there's some reloads downside. They got to hold these bids, man. These bids got to hold. You can see down to 50 today too, right? So let's wait to see if some of these bids at least hold. That's why we're trying to rinse them out. What's up, B? A
couple of clean energy names moving. This one first, Sunrun, guys, trying to break out. This is a big level on the daily chart over here, around 46.5 for Sunrun. They extended an agreement with a company in the U.S. to provide solar panels for roofing. There's also Morgan Stanley upgrade for Sunrun today, guys. Run moving.
And this is now where I'm going to wait for that reload. The mistake made for me on that Roblox was this. It's going to be that 81, like iceberg, like I said, like getting tricked into starting a short earlier. If you just wait for that 82 level, which was the flush price, and then work off of that to that 83.50, the other levels that we mentioned, then would have been, it's an even better trade. Now, obviously, you get that flush in the low of the day where you take a bunch of profit out, and then I wait for 82, right? So wait for it to come back into your target area and then calmly get back into position on that one. Watch out for CCL. So as good as it was on the way up, it is now testing this. I mean, it's more like 28.75. Apologies in the chat. I said 28.80. This is 28.75 on the pre-market low. Looking to see if it can bounce here. It bounced off of 85, so I got into more shares there when it made the bounce. Now it's immediately testing that 75 area. So if it tries to bounce, I'll get one more time in. I don't want this breaking 75 because you don't want to throw away too much profit. But if it makes a move off a level like that, that's when I'm always going to get into more shares on the way up instead of the way down. So we'll see what happens, but looking relatively weak once again in both AMC. Well, I mean, CCL and AMC heading to the downside. The reload and Roblox, that's one I want to go down, and it doesn't seem like it wants to, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, Roblox is fine.
Well, it did.
Yeah, it's fine. What does want to go down, and we'll say a big props to the sticky note again today, is this BlackBerry, man. It's now down to day's low. We hit this one pretty easily there at 13.50. It was one of the big trades for us. And if you guys hit the rewind button, I actually said that this was the trade. That was the one that I was most excited about, was the BlackBerry trade to the downside. And that's why I want to say thank you to Steve G for clarifying that. Everyone could see kind of what I was talking about there, and they liked that trade to the downside. So 13.50 now cashing in pretty hard on BlackBerry, but we're out. So 2020. We only have 20% left, but a big win there for us on BlackBerry. I see Barks trying to go, and I see, by the way, Donkey Kong is going to give me that opportunity. It looks like, fingers crossed, can't exit any trades until after the show, but right now we are looking to see here DraftKings, a nice move up, man. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's been a nice move to DraftKings. Would much rather we get to 52, like this 50-period moving average, but again, beggars really can't be choosers with this. I feel like we're really lucky that we got that bounce from 44 yesterday. So up to 50 makes good sense for us here if you are long, and just a little bit of a cautionary tale here on DraftKings. Let's see where we go. But I do like pairing off a little bit into some of this strength the last couple days, including yesterday, basically this time yesterday, guys, we were at 43 or 44. So very, very lucky to be back to 50. You may want to pair some of this off on DKNG.
And Brendan mentioned ALF here. I'll get to SPI in a quick second. Was able to take some profit off that short into that 80 level. Watch out, AMC just broke that 54. It's still heading to that downside. For now, it's clustering a little bit, but this ALF made a bit of a test to the upside. It's a similar trade to that SPI. If it comes back up to the 650, you do look at this top here at 670. I would roll into something there. The other thing which is making a move back up, and I'm trying to be a little bit patient with you, Roblox, on the re-entry to this trade. This is the best fills were all in front of 83. It never really tested 83.5. This is 83 even at the top here. 83.5 was a bit of a level here in the aftermarket and then here in the pre-market. So if it rolls over, I'll wait and try to catch it on the way downside to add more in Roblox to the short. I did get that SPI like I mentioned, and then Wish continues to hold the low, at least temporarily. Like obviously, I could have traded this way better. Wish shorts, couple of bad stops. Now I just want to give it to 1150 or take out that low at 1080, guys. And it hasn't come anywhere close to those quarters again. If it does, that's when I'll slowly get into position on Wish, a little bit more calmly there. AMC, once again, looks like it wants to try to hold another low. And this one at 54. Go to that higher time frame, guys. You do have, you go back here, now that these levels have been broken, 51.50 on a flush. And I don't want to be holding a 55 into 51.50. So if you see me dip out and then say, get back in at 51.50, that was that monster level that we had like 3 times the other day on the long. So you want to make sure you have some room for that. It's now looking like it wants to make that fresh low at 53.50. If that breaks, I'm covering AMC and then looking lower because 51.50, a couple of bucks. I don't see any reason to give it up. I'm day trading, so I'm going to be in and out anyways, guys. And AMC hasn't been great this morning to the long side.
Yeah, just typing I was just typing with our chat group here about basketball, and I'm saying that's the problem with the NBA. Honestly, is that it's too star dependent. Like, you know, you're going to get people gone now for weeks, months, things like that, missing games. Like all of a sudden, the Nets are an amazing team, and then they're nothing, right? I mean, that's the thing. You got to have at least one major star. So just, you know, it's just one of those things. Like look at the Canadians and things like that. In hockey, you can build your team around an actual team. In the NBA, it's like you know, a brotherhood of let's play for the best super teams, and that's fine. It's been like that forever, and I love the NBA, so nothing wrong with that. Okay, so here's Roblox. So we are now into Roblox. We've averaged in there. We already had 82.91. We take some more averages right now. It looks like it's going to break through 83. Not a great sign for that one, but it's still fine. We did average into AMC here on the downside as well, so we'll wait to see what's going on. Yeah, I'll give you what we could do. We could do a U.S. Open pool. I see you there, Rainmaker. You know, I don't mind Koepka. I mean, I'm going to see what happens with him in DeChambeau, but Rahm is also a big favorite in that event as well. And then Filler playing back on his home there. So we'll see in San Diego. We'll see if Phil Mickelson can't repeat there from his last win. Okay, 54.50. This is AMC. We just took a long there, so now our average price is 54.28. We'll just wait to see if we can get back up. We talked about taking, you know, little cuts on AMC, but you know, it is kind of resisting this move a little bit here on the downside. I know we're down 8%. I know that's not good for anybody that's holding long, but look, we're kind of dancing around 54. If we can get back up to this 55 area, I think that's probably worth taking a little bit more out. So we are getting ready to exit out of a little bit of this. We are long 54.28 right now. So if we could scalp back and forth 50 cents, probably worth it here on AMC.
I will flush you down the toilet there, SPI. We talked about that entry set at 78. I mentioned I'd come back to it. This range here at 770, I'll take some out there. It was a bit of a floor. It means a temporary floor. And then now this opening range bottom at 745 is being tested. So we're in the money now. I'm going to look back towards this. I'll zoom out so you can see. Look back towards the 7 p.m. breakout, sorry, 7 a.m. breakout price down to 710 for the next target out. So I'll get a bid in that range and try to take a 65-cent winner. AMC looks like it's held at 53.50 at least for now is the best I can say. And then watch out. Here comes Roblox testing that 83.50 level to that upside. So you want to see if it can hold this here. If you want to be extremely bearish on a name like that, I want to see it actually hold a bit above that price range. And then, well, if it looks like it's going to here, hold a bit above that price range, maybe even give it to the aftermarket level. If it can't roll over, I'll just cover. If it does, I want to be adding to it. Brendo, what's up?
Nice bounce for tech stocks once again today to start things off. Here's Apple, 0.8 right now, but just made day highs there, trying to get back to 131, which is clearing that little pivot that was setting up on the daily chart, guys, for Apple.
And there goes Roblox. It's now through 84, so this is right through my stop area. You're going to get that too early short, then you're going to get the short off of 82 to 83.50. That works out fantastically. But when you take that same trade here again, it's basically the same average price, it's going to take out the top for me here. So I'm not going to sit there and make a mess of that Roblox trade. It was while AMC starting to head back to that downside. AMC wanting to hold, and you get this cluster down here. If it cannot hold this bid, I already talked about that 51.50 being the next level down. Otherwise, you're looking at a potential break back up at 54 and a half. If it takes this level out to the upside, this is where you might be thinking about adding to your position. For now, AMC looking hella weak. That brings me back over to Wish, which if these are coming down, I think Wish should be as well, on the NASDAQ, of course. Wish should be as well. It's again testing this low of the day, still yet to break it. I might not wait around for this. The next time it tests VWAP, I'll probably take it to that short side unless AMC is breaking up. If AMC is breaking up, guys, which it is not because I just got out of it, then I would probably be looking to hold off on Wish until 10:30. AMC now, 51.50, I think is that next level to the downside. That's what you have to concern yourself with. I know Go EV is on a few people's list as well. I talked about this one, and you know, you're not always gonna pick the exact stocks. If you have like 6 or 7 setups that you really like, and you only want to have 4 or 5 at that open, sometimes something goes to the wayside, and clearly Go EV was likely best of the bunch here. That's what we're going to see happen off that 11 even. It is still falling, so hopefully caution some people out of this one. But go into yesterday's action, and then you go into the afternoon where it held this 990 on a pullback, and this was the previous high at 10. Gets into that range, I think that's where you're thinking about going back into the long side of the trade. If you guys like it and you manage to save yourself some money, or if you're still in it and you want to have a bit of a stop, look back to that cluster between 990 to 10 even as a potential area for you guys. And here comes Wish. It's pennies away from breaking that low at 1085. AMC, still holding the bottom, guys. It looks like that is having all kinds of trouble getting going. But GoEV, I wouldn't get into it just yet. I'm still looking down around here at that $10 level. Maybe just let it drift a little bit further before picking it up in front of that $9.90 price area, guys. And Roblox is what it is. It's going to be one of those like muted trades where initially the move is going to work, but now you're seeing it take out those tops. If you like the bearish case, I think waiting till like 85 to 86, that cluster in the aftermarket yesterday is probably the best way to go. It's possible that was that break here at 83.50 when it held a bid and I got shooken out of it. But essentially, it's two trades with a bunch of entry points. One worked and one did not. I'll wait for the better level to get more shares of that one. Where's my
I thought I got more short there on Roblox. Doesn't look like we. Okay, there it is. So there we go. Now we get more short on Roblox there. I got taken out at that 84.50 level. So good call that one. Steve, I think it was Steve G, was talking about being right when it was tanking to the down. Look, these outs, like all of these outs, like bang, 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 really saved me. That we only had 20% left. That's why this went long there because it looks. That's why I went long because I did have a little bit extra on board there. So we wound up going long there on Roblox. But now we're back into the short. I don't mind this. Again, I think it should be down a hell of a lot more than 6% now that I look at this thing. So, we'll wait. I don't know. I'm not the master of Roblox here. Those are my kids, man. Those guys crush Roblox like every day, probably too much. So I'm trying to get a little bit of revenge on that game right now. And here we go right now. AMC starting to move, guys. 54.09, we're still long. I have an offer right around here. We talked about getting 50 cents out, so maybe we should just do that right now as it's breaking up through 54.50. Nice little rebound here on AMC. So good trade here. We got to get out, like we always talk about. So no profits until you get out, right, Brendo? Take it away, bud.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's check out how things stand at this point. As expected, I mean, pretty muted as far as the overall market is concerned. You can see the S&P dead flat. At this point, the Dow down slightly, 0.13. You can see tech stocks trying to hold up. Both the 100 and the composite. NASDAQ 0.4, 0.25 to the upside. The Russell 0.5% to the downside. We're exactly flat here in Toronto for the TSX. A couple of things we were looking at in the pre-market real quick. Yeah, no bounce whatsoever for Oracle right from the open here. It did kind of run up into the open, but just straight southbound for Oracle off that report. 6.5% now to the downside. This one was on the watch list as well. Cat B, a little one at the bottom end of the list. Did try to come down early on, but straight back to day highs, session highs anyways, for Cat B. Guys, back to you.
So I'm going to go back to, very quickly here, because there was a bounce on AMC. If it doesn't get to my 51.40, remember we said 54.50 as a break. If it holds those lows will be the good one. But I did also get into Wish, so I want to go, I was going to say Gates of Hell, but I'll ride the bear for that. Look, I had the shorts and had bad stops and wasn't patient enough with it. But the other way we liked it was just to take a quick breakdown at 1080. This was the one I wanted the short side. It was weakness in the meme names, but I bungled a bunch of these here. One with a bad trigger, literally misread this level like an idiot. And then this one here, which I should be giving back to 1150. I did not do that, and I never got any more when you get that jam when it fails. Never got any more here at VWAP at 20s. I don't get any trades right until the break of 1085, which is low of the day. Then 1080 with the previous level that we had. We went back on the higher time frame. Now you're absolutely flushing here in Wish. So it is what it is. You get off that. Look, if you make a mistake or you bungle a trade, you go right back to the levels that you like. I said I'd calm down on Wish. Just go back to what we already liked. Take the breakdown trade. It doesn't matter that you had a better short earlier and it goes for you. You got to be willing to take that trade when it's there for you when it breaks the low of the day, regardless of the fact that you had it 30 or 40 cents better. Just do what works. So if AMC does not get through 54.40, it is a 51.50. That's the level to defend for me next.
Yeah, we just, okay, you're talking about AMC. Yeah, so we did get that out there at 54.50. We talked about that. Look, bid out. So, I mean, we're going to be in the money 50 cents. We talked about always wanting to take that. And so we stay disciplined there and do that. So we do take that profit out there at 54.50. You guys saw me jamming the keys when that was happening. So a good price, looks like anyways, a good price out for that. And then we'll have to wait on the downside. We still are trying to hold this thing. We didn't get a better average price there. We were waiting for an 85 break. So now we'll have to wait for Roblox. I don't even think it actually went even up that high. 84.80, yeah, it probably did. So that's not a horrible spot to maybe average in a little bit there on Roblox. We are short now 84 again. I don't mind it. And then the trade that I was really most excited about, that unfortunately I only have 20% left on, is this BlackBerry trade. It's making that move to the bottom. And then the reason why we like this, it was very, very simple. You know, and again, you know, we try to preach on education and trying to give you guys not just like the recipe, like we are trying to give you the recipe, not just the trade, right? The ingredients. We're trying to teach you guys how to make this. This was like a multi-day break right here. Like we had 1350 there, 1350 there, and then right here we did break it and went down to 13. So that gave me some confidence there as well that, you know, there might not be as much, you know, helping this stock at these levels that they thought, as much support. So when we had that break there, and then in the pre-market it was looking like it wanted to break again. So that was for me a very, very easy trade there, and that's BlackBerry. I just wish, talk about wish. I wish that we would have shorted a little bit more up here. I did have offers, but they were just more near 14, not 13.75. That would have been pretty sweet. It is looking to turn around. Maybe that 13 is a bottom there on BlackBerry, but it's been a big trade regardless. Just wish we still had a little bit more. It's still coming to the downside.
Yeah, and speaking of downside, that wish still making lows as well. So we don't wish, well, we do wish it will go down further. Look, I saw someone in the chat, and thank you for the super chat, but I looked at that EMAN over on the AMEX, and did 500,000 shares in volume, so I didn't really see much going on there. So if there's something particular about it that you see there, maybe you could let us know in the chat. Torch is still holding up with just like over 60 million shares of volume. But remember, we talked about it, you know, getting bearish below that 6. It tries to break below. Look at that flush out and then come right back to the upside, but it couldn't put in a higher low. Sorry, it put in a lower high, I should say. So it did put a lower high. If it gets back to 650, I think you're probably going to start thinking about that bearish case. But for me, I look at this not testing that high. I want to get into this one to the south side. Off of that 650 level, not necessarily off the high of the day, but off of that 650 level. So if you see me pick in here, I wanted 37s, I'll jump in front if it bounces off VWAP. If I can. If it doesn't, fair enough. I'll maybe wait to see it trade below VWAP and hold below that 6 level. So I am now looking to get into that torch. I traded a bunch yesterday, but obviously it was a stronger one this morning. I'm not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. We're getting close enough to this bid on SPI, and it is literally just absolutely crawling down here. The volume is drying up. This is what level 2. Oops. And it's not going to give you level 2. There we go, manually here. This is what it looks like. It's doing absolutely nothing, slowed right down, and it's grinding off this breakout price. I'm just gonna cover the last of my shares here at 7:30 because it's sleepy. I'll get back in if it pops up to 8 even, and then you know what's coming up? Not later on in the session, there's actually a good interview coming on, but Roblox, I just finished saying, I'll cover this one when it breaks at 84, because why? I look back to this cluster here in the aftermarket, and this is 85, right into this 85.75. I'm like, that's the next level to go to the short side. That's what I'll go ahead and do. So I've already started that one, and it still looks pretty strong. The first time was okay. Second time, not good. Hopefully the first time at this next cluster area that I liked is going to be a good one. And there goes 54.50 on AMC. So it does not test that lower low, and it's now broken that 54.50. I am back into AMC to the long side, and Roblox immediately testing the top end of this range. 85.75 is this topward rolled. 86 is the absolute high here. So I'd wait to see a test, one of those two levels, and then try and catch more on the way down. That's how I like to enter these trades.
Okay, guys, we're still trying to have some of these, but we have to get out at some point. So we are now out of half of these longs now on AMC. You can see now, I mean, this is $1.50 in the money. We've had this multiple times today. $1.50 now in the money. Let's go, AMC. We'll see. We're getting excited now. Can we get back up to VWAP? That's where my next out is. Actually, it was 55.70. I guess I got to adjust this a little bit to 55.29 or so. We'll see if we can get a VWAP trade. Look, I'm going to just stick to my guns here and trade this the way I always do. So here we go, 55.25. That's going to be a good little out if we can get it right here. So on that VWAP, we are averaged back in, man. Good call by Steve and anybody that said get out of Roblox, because yeah, we are double into trouble here onto this short. So here it comes. We're watching for that 86. Neil just talked about that level as well. Right here, 86, 87 is a problem spot for us on Roblox. So here it comes, ripping to the high side. This rate now is $1 out of the money. But again, it's not a heavy share position. position, but it's enough to be ruining our day. It's our only negative stock today. CCL, we took a small hit on as well, but this is the major hit stock for me here as Roblox just wants to keep going. Very, very surprised. I wonder if Miss Kathy Wood, you forgot to phone me, by the way, Kathy. I wonder if she's buying Roblox. I know that's a name that she likes as well. What's up, Brendan? Wow, there goes AMC as well. What's up, Brendan?
Just saw Palantir popping up, guys, and just saw this. This was 953. June 17th down here. Today, last I checked, was June 16th. So, yeah, it's the FAA and DOT, their $18.5 million federal contract for Palantir.
And I just noticed here, thank you guys in the chat for like hollering about ALF. ALF has halted ALF, and I think we mentioned it, but we're gonna get back to this one. It did make a top in the aftermarket, and look, we were trading this one yesterday in the close show, so it was definitely a mover. We said if it tests these levels again, we'd look for a bit of a fade, but it's a halt trade into 7. There's no way I'd ever take that going into a halt. I like that same pattern, like we go to over and over and over again. If we open up and then hold resistance, in this case we actually have it at 750, I think that's your first cover. Otherwise, it's simply somewhere in this cluster, like 666, into this like 7 even area. You're looking for it to fail and then maybe get into short off of that halt trade. So a couple of ways I can get into this one on the reopen, which is in about 3 minutes or so. So you'll see me likely get into it, but I'm not going to force it. When we have these reopen trades off halts, notice that you're going against the grain here. There happens to be a resistance at 750 that I think we can play off of. So watch out for ALF in the next couple of minutes, 2 minutes until that reopen, I should say.
So I switched up a little bit here on AMC. There it is. We just took it out. We just took it out at 55 there. So we did. I mean, we're long 53.50. So that's. I don't want to hit my mic. That's a $1.50 win there on AMC. So we'll put that in our pocket and just now watch. We do want to reload this. I don't even have any offers out anymore. So just to make sure of that. So right now, good couple trades here. We've just been reloading and getting out again. So let's just wait to see if we do drop back down into 53.50, maybe even some 54s, but we'll empty it out right there. We're still holding some, but we'll empty out a little bit more there on AMC here. Roblox is testing those highs, man. We got blown out a little bit. We are back into that short. We'll have to wait and dance with that devil. And then good news there on Palantir, guys. I mean, we're already, like, we're huge. I mean, Palantir has been basically, you know, like paid for a lot of the work that I've been doing around my house lately. We did get in at 1850 down here. We were long down here. Palantir has been, I've been touting this for a very long time. And even when it was coming to the downside, we talked about some of these levels. We worked our way through this. And then on this crazy day, earnings day, when we touched 1613, we're able to get 1850 on the way back up. And that's been a good hold for us. So right now, I wasn't super positive on this name today because of what happened yesterday in the afternoon. And again, I wasn't here, but you see this move just trickling down. The NASDAQ also trickled down. So today, with it being Fed day, I was a little nervous about the NASDAQ, but you know, apparently nothing to worry about as Palantir, not up that much, only up 0.36, but a nice little move from the bottom today. We came in at 24, right? It was red, so now you're up to 24, 25, so a good move there. AMC still going, and then BlackBerry hovering near, I was going to say near its lows, but it has bounced up nicely. Maybe a reload here on the short. We'll check out that.
And it's going to be a bit of a test right here, and right away that ALF. Now, it's going to look interesting on the chart because you got to watch the tape on this. It immediately broke 750, got to 765 here, and then flushed right back below that 750. So it was a bit of a failed break at that price, and then made a second test of the high of the day. It's now coming back in, and the off chance that that was a failed break again, it goes right back to 750. You know, I like to get back into it and go off that other high. So it's 775 now, the current high. So a couple of ways you can get into it. I have chosen literally both of them to the short side on that ALF. If it does go at this point, I think you're probably looking to those evens, but twice it does failed breaks, and then immediately, and again, I'm going to go with higher stops. These are about the same here, guys. So twice, it gives you that open trade idea. Now, if you get the win, you're looking down at around like $7 here before you get any of this out. So you're looking at 30 to 40 cents. So I like taking like 25-cent losers here. Make sure you limit that loss because ALF is off to the race. My daily trade doesn't want to load the whole way, but this is the breakout happening. At this point, I will not touch it until either it halts again or gets back down towards that 7 halt price. So my hands will be off the keyboards for that one. AMC, I mean, it's trying to hold above this 55 level. 54.50 is now that, I guess, temporary floor down to like 53.50. I'll let it continue to break higher before I add to that position. All eyes are on ALF, which could halt again if it cracks to 9. Brendo?
Zscaler, guys, ZS. just popping up here. Day highs, in fact, for this one, 4 and change percent. There was a couple of price target increases here, but they did release updated guidance for their current quarter for ZS having a good day.
Yeah, AMC is the way. I'm seeing people say that. Yeah, AMC is the way for sure. Today, all the way to the upside, guys. 55, 55.11, 55.12. We just continue to rip up, man. Now $1.60, $1.70 in the money. It looks like my whole day is basically just sitting here getting frustrated with Roblox as it keeps going up. And again, like that's horrible. Like it seems like it's such bad news. Like they had less people, less payments, less daily average users, less everything, but no one cares. Roblox still to the upside. Great call. Anybody long this one? These are all shorts. Thank God. Just like really like this. If this move doesn't happen, then this is a dramatically different mood / day for me here today, because we've just been. I mean, this is going to hurt a little bit, but this is just a small little paper cut compared to what this would have been if this was a wreck. Because we did take some shares there, and then right off the open, I told you that this was the heaviest spot for me right there at 83, because we were into this area. We just got a little too excited with Roblox. So again, that is one of those situations where we should have waited a little bit. And then, if we took it, like even if I wait for here and then take this, then this is all profit. And then, we're just giving some back in this instead of it turning our day red, right? So that's going to be a problem there for Roblox. And it looks like it's going to take this top off. I am waiting for this 86.50 to break. When that breaks, then it's probably going to be the high when it breaks. And I'll have just gotten, tossed around a bit on this name. So maybe we'll wait for, I'm going to wait for 87s just in case. So we'll wait for 87s on that. If it breaks through 87, man, then I don't know. I don't think that should be happening, but hey, it looks like it wants to. So Roblox, maybe we'll take one more average around that 86.50. And then if 87 breaks, man, Bob's your uncle. And I'm tapping on that because, how much money do we really want to lose on this name? Hopefully nothing, but it definitely could come through. So 86.50 last shot, and then 87, and we tap out. Yeah,
and look, I tapped at the Roblox. Maybe should have kept it at that one original entry point. Now, someone just said Geo's going to halt. Now, ALF is halted in the second time here, but I know this looks like a big parabolic move, but remember, it's got to go like 10% in a very short period of time, so it didn't quite qualify when it was trying to break out here from 690 into like 720. It stalled out. This is one clean move in less than 5 minutes. You have a good chance that it would have been. So it's already pulled back. I don't see much of a trade in it for me necessarily. I did take a quick little profit on AMC on that re-entry point there because it's VWAP. If it now wants to test, this is where you can maybe get into that bottom. I almost made bottom wick here on AMC. It is what it is. This bounce good, and that's why I'm going to take this profit here, but started too early at 55.50 again. Should have been 54.50 and then give it to that low. If it wants to test, I'm not going to get 54.50 again. I would look for a little bit better of a price here on AMC, so we'll slow things down a little bit. I want ALF. Now, at some point, I'm probably going to get into alpha again, but I do want it to sustain some levels here, at least a little bit. I always go with the same structure of these reopen trades. So there you go. So if it does want to fail off of this recent high or look like it wants to halt down, I'll get into it that way. Otherwise, I will just wait for a couple more halts up and then sign of weakness before I have to jump back into that trade, guys. Wish. Everyone's always like, yeah, don't short Wish, don't short Wish. I shorted Wish. Shorted Wish. Shorted Wish, out, loser, shorted Wish, got a bit of a winner. And then it bounced off my bid here at like 58s. Now we're right back into VWAP. I've been waiting for it to maybe roll over back below that breakout price at 1085. If it doesn't do that, I don't want to get more shares in. I think I gotta have a stop here at that 1111 area, or 1110 area, I should say. Gotta be careful, because if AMC is going to go up and this bounce is going to work on that long, then Wish could be in at least a little bit of trouble, because sometimes those stocks do go at the same time. SPI, just a bit of a recap. Obviously a good out here. Immediately it talked about when we got into that short where the ultimate target would be. It traded off that price, the volume has died down. I'm actually offering here at 778, but the longer this calms down and does nothing, I don't want this like popping up in like one candle and then I'm short on like a 50-cent move, catching the top end of it, and then it breaks through $8. So I'm going to cancel that order. I'll keep an eye on it. If it does make a more structured or calm move into VWAP, I can probably short it that way. No need to just stand there in what could be in front of a moving train on the off chance that it does. So I don't want to have that just sitting out there to get scooped up on a big move.
Okay, I see your question there, and I will answer it right now, literally, because I've seen you guys said a couple times there. Unfortunately, maybe Valeria can help me with this name. Is this a Russian there? I don't know how to pronounce or at all this, so I'm just going to come over here. Okay, you'll maybe have to do it. But okay, so what is my opinion on Palantir when it gets to hold on, I got to cancel some orders here. If and when it gets to 30. So if and when it gets to 30, yeah, I mean, okay, so that's still a while away, man. That's still 30% from here. So a little bit less than 30%, 20x% upside. So if and when it gets to 30, look, these are the levels here. I will probably sell some of my 18s when we get to like 29, 28. This is all pie in the sky, man. We're not here yet. Like, let's not like get too crazy with Palantir. But, you know, I like the move to the upside. I do think it's going to be a slow summer for them. Although that contract that Brendan just said was really nice. There with I think it was the FAA, I believe it was. So that was a good one there. They keep on getting more contracts. So do I think 30 is coming? Yes, I've already called that. So we'll wait to see when 30 does get here. I'm thinking like September, October will probably be around 30. We need one more earnings call to happen. Remember their last one was a disaster on the downside. We talked about that. So we'll wait for that and then we'll see. But hey, if it comes to 30, like if we get a good earnings report and it blasts through 30, then people are gonna have to tap because everybody that's short on this is going to fear something like this. So I think when it gets to 30, we could probably see 32, 33. But remember, a lot of this chaos up here, for anybody that's on Palantir, this was at the same time as Wall Street Bets sort of made its first moves, right? With GameStop, with everything was starting to rip up here in late January, early February. So a lot of these names got caught up in that, right? So that was a big move. I was able to get some out. I think my best out is like 32. So I definitely didn't catch the tops here, but just watch out for Palantir. I don't think we get up here for a while, but we should be able to get back to 30. And my call for 30 is going to be around, like I said, the fall. My birthday's in September, so let's hope for a birthday present on Palantir. This time I'm going to get it right because I see him over there. Brendan with small cap recap, baby.
Hey guys, yeah, quite a few to get through once again this morning. It was a busy morning. This one, AUVI, first off, popped up just right before, about 5 minutes before we came on at 8:30 this morning. Nice move to the upside. This is 1150, ends up being a big level right at the open. So mark that down. And then 12 above that, a bit of a level. That's 1320 at the top. But I was busy doing other things, so missed this. But this is a great opportunity here. 1150 ends up being the level. Straight down $3 for AUVI. Nice fader this morning. If you caught that one right at 8:30. SPI, give you my take on this one. I was just watching this 630 level from the pre-market. Ends up being a little bit of resistance initially. I would have added to this all the way back into 830. Obviously day lows right now, so that one also working out quite nicely. And then this one, APRE, was holding up very, very strong in the pre-market. So like this one on the long side, higher lows being made. It held this 710 area right before the open, runs up to 780. But we're below 710, so you can use that now for APRE. Guys, back to you.
And back to ALF. It opens up, immediately tries to take, it did actually make a higher high here. Got to like 920, like one crazy wick. It then jammed right back below 840. I did get the entry right as it took that halt price and was able to get some more shares down here in the teens. I quickly got some out when a bid formed at $8. And then now have some bids all the way down into that previous cluster where we're shorting, and then VWAP's down here at 720. So I'll definitely take profit into that range. You know that's what you got to do. So I'm always going to get out, always going to be very, very conservative. I want to take those initial outs. But I talked about getting back into this one when it reopened. Always going to have that play on. Same structure as before, so you rinse and repeat. To me, it's about the setup. It doesn't matter that it's happening in ALF. As long as it fits that structure, that's what I'm going to go and do. So we will go to the gates of hell because I want the stock to come downside. Who's your daddy, ALF? Get back to Melmac because we're shorting this one.
Okay, so right now AMC, yeah, ALF, great show, love ALF. Okay, nice move on AMC, man. We're still holding this one. That's why we put the Ape Nation going through right there with those big ass diamonds. I keep saying, oh, my wife's not watching this one, but 55, a nice movement. We're at $2 now in the money on AMC, so that's going to be another banger for us. We're only negative, man, on Roblox today, and I still think this should be coming back down, so we'll wait to see on that. We're short right now, right here, 85.40, so it's right here right now, so we'll see if that can come through. I'm hoping it does, obviously, and we'll be able to get out of this maybe near 83-ish on Roblox. That's kind of my target there, so we'll see if that can come through. Coming back to the downside now, a nice win. We can get we can pair some of this off, man. Like, these are nice wins. If we can get back into 84.50, it'll be nice, and then that'll be $1, and then we'll almost make back what we lost. Like, so this is what I'm talking about. When you trade these names, you got to have a little bit of confidence. We're not going to pick all the right levels, including maybe no right levels on the way up, but maybe that was the top. So let's put some bids. There's some size there. I don't really hold too much to that, but there is some size there. Let's see if we can hold back down. I'm going to put some bids, 84.50, just in case we do get that magical crash here on RBLX. So if that can come through, hopefully we get picked up a little bit, and then we'll watch this thing fall to 83, and that's where we'll ring the register, hopefully down here, 83-ish, right where we sort of, that was my best trade right there because of these pre-market levels. So if we get back to 83, we'll ring the Reggie, but until then, man, $1.50, $1.80, $1.90 on AMC, 40 cents right now on BlackBerry, and Roblox is now 25 cents in the money. But again, I'm not celebrating any stock that I'm red on. That's it. So that's how you guys are going to know, what stocks we're doing and how we're trading this, guys. So we're going to wait for Roblox to go, and then hopefully we'll celebrate it back down at 83.
And gonna go with the structure, like on this ALF trade, just so you guys know, I'm not actually moving my stop. I've done this in the past. When you get a multi-halt stock, it was multi-halt to the upside type of stock, on that original turn, a lot of times I'll get a couple of targets out, then it holds that next level down, and then I'll move my stop in tighter. Like usually to like 820, 825 in this range. No, it either takes out this halt level or I'm holding this short till I get my targets, and it busts below that 7 even, guys. So I've gotten out way too early on some of these before when you have that entry point, and sometimes it can be that top. So if it breaks 850, fair enough, I'll have less some off the table, but given what I've seen and adapting this strategy, it's worth it to hold when you do have that entry point there off that halt to the downside. Brendo?
So we had that Go EV canoe out this morning, this morning on some charging station news. Here's ChargePoint as well, talking about commercial fleet solutions on the charging side of things. Again, wasn't doing really anything in the pre-market here, but up 4% now for CHPT.
ChargePoint. Yeah, my play on that is XL Fleet. So we can watch and see what XL Fleet wants to do. AMC's still going, man, and I'm trying to have these hands. We're going to see if it can get back up. I think we can take this out, 56 area. So I think we can come back up here. We've made a nice little bottom at 53. We've talked about this over and over again, why we like this name. You guys already know that. This is not the AMC show. It's just I have shares on AMC, and it's nice $2 in the money. So yeah, we're going to celebrate a little bit of that anyways and see if it wants to continue to go high side there. Roblox is fading back in, but it keeps on bouncing off 85. Like, I get a nice winner, and then it stops. So hopefully that 85 will break, and then we can cash that in. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a nasty day here on RBLX. We've talked about that. And then BlackBerry, oh man, like what a reload. We talked about reloading it. We didn't do it there at 13. We still got 20% as BlackBerry going back now down to the day's low. So if you followed me today, man, every single stock has been cashed except for RBLX. So we'll watch out for that. AMC's not been a good stock at all. We do have that out there, but we do have some of these longs here back to the upside. So we're going to hold this, and dependent on what happens, let's go. Now we're $2.50 in the money. Here we go, AMC, starting to go now. We'll see if we can get this 56.50 area, but these are diamond hands, guys. This is for me anyways. We're holding this for the long side here. Go AMC, $2.50 winner. Bang the table. Let's go AMC.
Yeah, I love that move. I'm going to look back to 57 and I'll take shares out of 57 on AMC. And then if we bounce back down to that 54.50, it's now back on the play for reload. I just said, here's ALF. It just goes down to 765. So now you're going to get that 50-cent winner. I got a bid down here in front of VWAP. I'm going to try and take 70 pennies on that. I want to then hang on to see if it gets back below this 7 even. If it cracks this price, then I would start shorting reloads on this trade. But until it breaks VWAP, it still has that chance to get back into the high of the day. I've seen that happen time and time again, guys. So you do want to sort of tread lightly here. Once you're in, you're fine, but you want to tread lightly shorting this any lower. Just because it happens to be falling does not mean it's guaranteed it's going to continue. That torch Made a double top, guys. Double top on Torch. I did have this one entry, tight stop, so it is what it is. If I get back into this here, obviously, it would have been a nice little win. I didn't see it at the moment that it happened at 675 when it turned, and then it gave you this consolidation off of 650. But look, it's still holding VWAP. It's still got a nice little trend. You could probably draw a trend line if you want to. And if it gets back up to that and makes a triple top, I mean, this thing could be a breakout through it's 676 actually. Could be a breakout the way that it's been holding up those bids. I would probably try it on a failure at 675 at least one more time before we get going on that. AMC, we've already talked about it here, but it's Wish. Like I said, if AMC is going to go, Wish is going to make that test. It comes right back in instead of like get in, get in, get in. I patiently wait for it to roll back up into this range, and this is like that 1110 area, I should say, off of that top. If it breaks that, fair enough. But this time, I want to wait until it's in front of this level before we get more shares. It's exactly what we've done. If it tests into 1110, then I'll get some more shares in the 1105 range. But 1110, if that goes, forget about it. We'll hold AMC and get more long of that, and then get out of Wish.
All right, here comes right back to the downside. I mean, I don't know what's going to be trade of the day, but it probably, I mean, this is about as clean as it gets, man. Short one time. We talked about 1350. It's all over our sticky note. Find it. I'll put it up there if you're just joining us for the first time. It's all over Twitter, the sticky note. Very, very popular. Over 200 likes, probably pretty much every day. So thank you for the support. It means you guys like it. And then, you know, so let's just keep on the track with that. A big win here for BlackBerry, man, as it just keeps on going down. We liked it off a multi-day 13. It doesn't show very good on here, but a multi-day 1350 break right there. Now we're making moves to the downside. Watch out for 13 coming through on this one. And then AMC is just not stopping here. And it just keeps on going up. $56 now. Upside, upside, upside. We're long here. This is $2.50 in the money now on AMC, and we're just going to try to hold this as much as we can off these bottom picks, man. No shorts, right? If you're going to see a purple, you're going to see a short, just like this stock right here. Look, like I was sitting here watching, like we were short 85.50, man. We could have took 50 cents and then made back a decent percentage of what we lost, but we didn't do that. Instead, we just watched Roblox just continue to take off. So, I mean, again, guys, like an 80, where's my out? Just to make sure here, 87. So we still got to give this a little bit more upside here, but it's just taking off right now, Roblox. So we'll average in one more time, and then that's it. We'll see if it can get going to the downside. Doesn't look like it wants to. Maybe if the market somehow fades off here, then we'll catch some Roblox love on the downside. But until then, man, market staying high, and so is Roblox. 86.50 now. Man, without this stock, wow, what a different day this would be. But we have it, so we got to be responsible for it. Roblox, once again, man, taking out this 86.50. Yuck.
Yeah, and it's like, I actually have almost a top wick on that when it took out that 86 quarter mark. Now I have my target area here, so I'm a little bit happier with that second entry point, except for this level, this one right here, 84.65. You got to wait for it to get into 85 even. Once it got into that cluster, it's actually held that cluster with the exception of that one break. So the out is fine. It's this first entry point where you're like, got to get into it. It's a little bit of revenge when it comes to that, guys. AMC, I mean, whatever. It's holding that 56 area for now. I want 57s for that next out. Brendo?
All right, guys, it is 10:30. That means coming up in 15 minutes. We have a great story, great new entrant, a relatively new entrant into the psychedelic space. Ketamine One coming through. Adam Deffitt, VP of Capital Markets, going to talk a little bit about the story behind Ketamine One and their approach to psychedelic markets. So that's coming up in about 15 minutes. As I said, right now, let's get a check on what is happening over in Europe. There's 1 hour left. V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European shares are mixed as markets await for Fed's outcome. Dutch retailer Colruyt is down more than 10% after it missed fiscal full-year earnings expectations. Back to you.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed story, guys. Everyone's sitting, waiting for the Fed.
Look, we knew that was going to be the case because it's always going to be a lower vol. It's not that volume's always going to be lower, but usually volatility tends to taper off a little bit. So you get a small move bouncing. And the thing about it is that you're going to hold a level like this at 14, and you would really think bouncing there, you're going to get a move into that 14, like 12, 20. But you're talking about 40 or 50 points only on the Qs here, and you're holding 0.4%, and the ES is even more asleep. So this is what we kind of expected. This is why we're sticking to the stocks that are moving. I'm sitting here staring at this level, and it's like, it looks pretty good on Roblox when I talk about targeting this area here, and you're right back into 85 to 86, and this is like 86 even. It goes to 86.25. That's kind of a failed break, so the setup is there. And the thing about not jumping into it when it fails here, or not even being in it as we speak, is like, okay, so I get in too early there, and then this short was good. I get in too early on the way back up, get stopped. Get in too early on this one off of this level, so it's like, the read's fine, the levels are okay, but I'm constantly jumping the gun in terms of getting into the trade. So I would actually like to see it now hold sideways a little bit, maybe even test that top and fail, or maybe even break 85. I just want to be patient with that Roblox, guys. That's what it's all about. AMC, man, still holding that 56 level. Are you taking some more out there, Sean?
Nope. I'm just telling everybody, that we almost broke upside there. 56.20 just happened there. So we're trying to. The more I hit this, hopefully, the more the ape gang push through. Let's go. So hopefully this can push through this 56. I don't know. There's always that. What is that? A dead chicken at the end? What, he dies at the end? We got to.
Why would he die at the end?
The guy riding the AMC rocket cannot have something happen to him at the end, because that's symbolizing something that I don't like happening to us. So we'll wait to see. But all jokes aside, AMC's been a big winner, man. If you're holding on to this, you know what I'm talking about. It's just about getting greedy at some points. And I just say what's up to you, Dave, I believe it was there, who just said, shout out, let's go AMC. Anyways, I talked about it there on the chat. And look, everybody knows this. Like, let's be honest with ourselves at some point here, that this has been a nice move up, man. And if we're holding this right now and you're long where I am, 53.50, then this is probably getting to be a little bit greedy, and it's already topped out a bunch of times here. It could easily fall. I think it could fall faster than it could go up, but we still have these targets upside. So if it wants to go, I can't say anything bad about holding on to this. Like, we've held it all the way up. If I was being more prudent, I probably would have got more out at VWAP, but we're trying to hold the last little bit just to see if this can run. This is not a disciplined play or anything here. This is just going by what we've seen in the past. We've seen it make big moves. There's actually no big move here. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but this is a big move down, right? This has just been slow grind up, right? Slow grind up. So I don't know. Are we going to get that one shot here where it just bangs to the upside? Like, we need something to come out news-wise, something like that, just to give this just that little, people are buying it. People are buying it. There's no doubt about that. It's just we're not getting that push up on AMC that we could still get. So that's what I'm holding out for. And again, we lose on it. We've been absolutely destroying AMC, guys. So, to give a little bit back today would suck for sure, but it's not the end of the world. Brendo.
Just watching crude oil, guys. We're back to day highs here, or trying to get back to day highs here. Just had the inventory numbers out. Drawdown of 7.3.5 million versus an expected 2.5 million. So much larger than expected on the drawdown there for crude from last week, guys.
Good look there. Look, you got to see what's going on in that broad market. Alf, see, in the past, I'd actually be out of this stock. Well, I mean, very close to out of this stock. And right there, I would have been out of the stock when it hit 825. I talked about the reasons why I am not. And it's just one of those, you have to adapt your game, pay attention to how each of your strategies are working. Like, on these reopen plays, I'm actually making money on them consistently. It would be easy to just sort of look at, let's say, your P&L and judge it and not change a thing. But I noticed a couple of times in the same entry point, I was just giving so much away when it cracked VWAP that I want to make sure I hold on to some of this. If it doesn't move that 840, that's why if it doesn't break that, I'm not sliding that stop. It either breaks that high definitively, I'm talking even 850 there, or I'm going to stick with that short trade. And I did mention a couple of seconds ago that I wanted to be rather measured with the approach to Roblox, because for me to look at the entry points that I want on this stock and to not be up on it is a bit ridiculous, because if I actually stuck to defined entry points, not jumping the gun on that entry point here, and then maybe holding myself to this area here, I'd actually still be up. So I'm only going to take it if it breaks 85 even. I'll let the momentum come to me, and if it wants to do it, fair enough. Otherwise, I'm not going to chase it. This torch, which I know is still going nuts, guys. I know Geo's moving as well. So Torch and Geo both holding up in volume. It's trying valiantly, but not really getting a back up toward that 675 high. So the longer it holds out, with the inability to test this double top at 675, the closer I get to taking another position. Now, this is exactly the area that I shorted the first time, with a tight stop at 50s. I would probably lean into about the same thing again. I get very bearish. If this thing can't hold 6 all afternoon, it could be one of those followers all aft. If it does hold a 6 bid, I know this is kind of like 590 here, but if it holds a 6 bid, then it really sets up for that 130, 230 power hour 675 break. I know it's 676, but whatever, 675. So we always trade the close. We like to have ideas over lunchtime. So I want to throw that one out there. If it holds that $6 range, I think you're looking for a potential breakout in the afternoon. I think some of these other names that we're trading here may or may not still be moving. There's this other reason. Well, I mean, it's always a good reason to come back in and check out the afternoon show because it's fantastic. But it's also going to be post-Fed. So you know the market's going to be moving. We'll recap all of that live for you guys and tell you about our trades. I'm sure we'll have some of these same names going into that close, but also some tech could be involved, which we've been ignoring because it doesn't tend to move as much going into that Fed meeting and announcement.
Yeah, hopefully Roblox moves a lot. We just got another short there, 86.50. So here we go. Come on, Roblox. Oh, bang! There we go. Let's go, Roblox. No, look at that. 86.50 there. 86.25 out there for $1 in 1 minute. So yes, sir. We're now hopefully. Bring it, Roblox. Let's go. Now it's time to dance with the devil here. Let's see how far we can go on this one. And then what I think, we'll talk about it, but what I think should probably be the trade of the day here at some point, 13.50 downside. What a great trade this has been. We still have 20% of this one as BlackBerry still making moves, man, to the downside. So that's a fantastic trade. And then let's go, Roblox. This is what we've been waiting for. You're built for this, Roblox. You want to go down. This is what you do when you're not sure a stock is going to go down. You talk to it like it matters. So come on, Roblox. I've spent so much money on you. You deserve to give me some back. Let's see if Roblox can go to the downside right now. See if it can break through 85, 84. Come on, Roblox. You can do this. I promise you, I will buy my kids $8 worth of Robux. Okay, here we go. 84. Now we're starting to break to the downside right now. We got some bids out 84.60. So if we can come back to the downside 84.60, we'll take that one to the downside. But right now, man, we're going to make everything back, hopefully, on Roblox as long as it goes down. So we need that to go down. Whereas my bid was 84.60. It only goes as far as 84.84 right there. So let's see if Roblox wants to create this magic, man, to the downside. Come on, Roblox, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I waited for 85 to get back in. I wanted to see it sell through that, so I got back into Roblox patiently. We haven't talked about, I mean, Lordstown has been moving, I know, in the past. This is what it's doing here today. Absolutely and positively nothing. Wish with AMC checking up at that 56 level. Look, I never got that 1105, and I'll go ahead and cancel that. We'll see what happens when it gets into that range, that 1110 area. So it does plop back down. Now, I got some bids in here around 1080 from before, and then this 1070 area. You know, it touched off at 1080. Why am I at 79? I should actually be at like 81 or something like that. So I'll pop one at 81. I'm looking to get more shares here, but I want to make sure that we're continuing this rollover and not just sort of averaging in when I've gotten no profit. So Wish, for now, kind of barcode. It's not really barcoding, but it's kind of barcoding. I think it's waiting for AMC to make its next move, which if it's testing 57, great for AMC, but I promise you Wish is likely to make another move there. So if I average in at this price, I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh my God, what's going on here as AMC bounces up? But I want to make sure if 1110 goes, I got to get out of Wish. It's been not as good as it could have been if I stuck to the plan of action earlier, but it is still in that downward trend and the one that I would prefer to the short side. It's already 1040. That means you guys are going to the big screen for Brendan and Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500 here. Going to be a quick one because, yeah, we're still dead flat, down 0.02%. There's a few individual names to be aware of. We talked about Oracle here off earnings there, 6.8%. ENPH, though, and Now, both higher on the day, helping to offset some of that weakness. But overall, that group pretty much flat on the day. I was watching some of the energy stocks off that oil number we just talked about. Not much of a response, but much bigger than expected drawdown again, 2 or 3 weeks in a row for crude oil. So we'll start keeping a little bit closer eye on that once again. 5.3% here for CNC. Healthcare stocks are positive on the day. The energy group, I should mention, obviously negative. Same story for material shares, far corner over there in negative territory. Not big moves, but negative nevertheless. GNRC here, industrial, helping to offset some other negativity. Most of that group also to the downside. Leading, though, to the downside are the banks today. So weakness coming from the financial sector ahead of the Fed decision. Consumer discretionary stocks also in negative territory. Look at the cruise lines here, though, helping to offset once again. We had a bit of a negative day yesterday for them, so bouncing back. GM 1.8%. A lot of people asking, when does the Fed? When does the Fed? It's 2 p.m., guys, this afternoon. Guys.
And that's the thing. You know the Fed is not till 2 o'clock, and a lot of it, because there's not going to be a rate change. You guys all know that. And they're not actually going to taper today. It's just going to be about the comments Do they indicate that they might be considering tapering sooner rather than later? Is there any indication that there's going to be some kind of a hike in 2023? Like, those are the kind of things you're looking out for. So it's a lot about the comments, a lot about the interview. Make sure you're tuning in, guys. It'll be an interesting one at the close. Alpha's bouncing off you up again, but I'm still going to hang on to it. We're in the money, and of course, it's been a nice one, but I want this bigger move to the downside. I want us breaking VWAP. I want us breaking that hull price at 7 even. So looks like we might have got that flush out top after it halted twice to the upside. I'm going to hang on to it for dear life. You're going to have to test this, I think, on AMC for the diamond hands there, Sean, because I know that's what you're going to talk about. Looks like it's trying to roll to that 54.50 mark one more time. If it bounces off there, that's not a bad re-entry point. If it goes lower, you got to play off that 53 for now.
Guys, thank you so much, man. And thank you to Michael Ski. I mean, you're welcome, man. Thank you for all the knowledge. I mean, that's why I've traded 19 years. We're just trying to make this entertaining for you and give you guys a little bit of trading knowledge here. And not for AMC, man. We're doing the floss off right now for Roblox. I mean, this is, again, we're getting a little bit of revenge on this one. I don't know how much revenge we're going to seek on it, but there's the drop down, there's the out. We just talked about this. If this can crack through and get down to 84, then basically we'd be flat on the day with Roblox, just creating more and more and more wins for us here today. So, yeah, no, I'm not worried about AMC. We're going to let that one go. We obviously wish whenever AMC comes down on you, you're like, oh, well, I wish, I got out earlier or something like that. But I'm not going to play that game with AMC. We're just going to watch it. I'm really, as you can see, I'm very, very focused on certain names. Neil talked about adjusting your trading. That's exactly what I've done. I don't have any red days this month. I have one red day in May, okay? So the thing is that I'm trying to be very specific with some of the trades we're doing. I'm trying to share them with you on the sticky note, trying to educate, trying to get going on all of this. So hopefully Roblox can come back down. We're short now 85.78, and that's really, to me, all that matters. I want you guys to be here to learn and then discuss ideas with us, because every single idea that we have is not always going to work, but most of them lately have been. Look at BlackBerry, how far this is going down. We're now at days low for BlackBerry, guys. We're short 13.50 right there off that call. Not only that, and this is what I'm talking about, share the love, man. If you're on the Sticky Note team, hit this, give this to more people, man. Go over to my Twitter right now and hit like, hit share. Please, let's get this Sticky Note in more people's hands.
I got to get over this OPT. Thank you guys for shouting it out. Usually I'm pretty good about tracking these names here when it comes to the hull page, but I wasn't looking at it because I'm paying attention to some of that. You got a re-entry into Roblox and, of course, AMC, and then, of course, looking at that Wish trade. But this is like multiple. This is more dangerous stock, first things first. It's done over 1 million shares here, but very, very thin. These are a lot of halts into the open, and it had its first semblance of like what that down halt entry point would have got a nice win. But now you're retesting the actual top on a halt back up upside here. So I'm gonna have to pay for some shorts here, I think, on this OPT. So we'll go ahead and pay a cent a share to be able to grab those. If it's gonna open up and fail off a double top at 15, I mean, that kind of is gonna stand out there for an obvious trade. If it breaks higher, allow it to calm itself down, just like we did over there with Alf. But if it's going to make that failure right here, I think that 14.50 area type of a short, as I okay that pay for short, off that top, which is 15.10. I know it's halted at 14.90, but that's a 15.10 top. You almost have to give it to that if you're shorting in that mid-14 range. So much room to the downside. I know it's a $15 stock, but, I mean, where's your next floor here? You're talking 13 even and then 11.50. So understand that you are looking for outsized moves, and that's why I only get in with a tight stop that risks 50 or 60 cents if I can, plus slippage, because I'm not letting this thing halt up at like $16.50 or $17 and I'd be stuck in it. To me, that's suicide. I know there's traders that look at shorts that way, saying eventually it has to come down and there's big wins to be had. I just find those entry points crazy, because if I don't know where I'm wrong before I get into the trade, I don't get into the trade. Brendan?
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yes, ketamine 1, we mentioned a relatively new addition to the psychedelic space on the medical side of things. Adam Deffett, VP Capital Markets, joining us today to discuss ketamine 1 and their approach to this sector and this industry. It's great to have you. First off, welcome to the show, Adam, for the first time. Let's jump right into things when it comes to ketamine 1. Give people an introduction here to this company. As we mentioned, a relatively new entrant here.
Yeah, good morning, Brendan. Thank you. You're exactly right. We're a fairly new company. Really just rebranded ourselves as ketamine 1 several weeks ago, but we do have a significant asset base already in place. I think what makes ketamine 1 very unique and different versus a lot of psychedelic peers is that we are focused on a platform approach that's going to bring a variety of potentially new and exciting drugs for mental health to the market. We're not a drug development company. We're focused on the specific area of the value chain that is clinical assets as well as contract research. So we've acquired a number of assets. All of those, importantly, are existing assets that are generating revenue today. And so our approach is to be molecule agnostic. We want to win regardless of timelines and which drugs are ultimately successful. We do believe there are going to be a number of psychedelic drugs that are really going to change the mental health landscape. But we're not making a bet on any particular one. We're able to do everything from the design of clinical trials through our KGK Science division, right through to the administration of treatments through a pretty large clinical network that we've built out. We've already acquired now 15 clinics within Canada. We have one deal that's closed in the US, in Houston, and then a number of other deals that we're looking to close, including in New York and Miami. So really building out a North American network of clinics. And again, important to mention that these are all existing clinical infrastructure. So they have the practitioners that are experienced. They have an existing patient base. And they've got the experience, and that's very important to us, because what we've seen is that it does take a while to ramp up these clinics. And so, we've got a group of clinics that have been working on this for a long time. They're very experienced, but they also have that patient and revenue base to them.
Right, so I love the concept here, and we said, kind of a multifaceted approach to this, type of work. And I want to focus on the clinic aspect here a little bit more, Adam. Talk us through the concept of bridging the gap. I love that, that point that you made, bridging the gap between the healthcare industry and the psychedelic industry, because I feel like that is going to be very important for the long-term success here. So, what do people need to know specifically about what is happening in these clinics?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for those that haven't followed the industry closely, what we're seeing is that a variety of these drugs need to be administered within a clinical setting. These are not going to be things that you will be able to get a prescription for and take home. So there's going to be a variety of new treatments that are going to require that clinical setting. In the case of ketamine, which we're obviously very active in, we're doing IV infusions. So that, you need doctors in clinic, you need nurse practitioners and other practitioners to be able to do this. And if you listen to some of the other companies and some of the leaders within the space, MAPS is a great example. They've said, really what is going to be the key for all of these drugs is going to be a clinical network and safe places to administer these. So we focused very specifically on that part of the value chain. And again, I think to have existing clinics versus building them out, where you're not only going to need time to ramp them up, but as this continues to build as an industry, there's going to be an increasing shortage of experienced professionals. And by acquiring existing businesses, we're getting some of the best within the space.
When we talk about from the clinical side of things, once again, from a regulatory standpoint, what kind of hurdles has the company run into here? Because you mentioned we're operating on both sides of the border, so clinics in Canada and the U.S. Talk us through some of the regulatory hurdles or potential still to come for Ketamine One.
There really are a number, and they're going to be different, obviously, between Canada, the U.S., on a province and state-by-state basis. One of the reasons we've rebranded as Ketamine One, and one of the reasons why we're initially very focused on ketamine is because this is a drug that is very well understood. It's been used globally for over 50 years. It's on the WHO's essential medicine list. And, doctors of all types have a lot of experience with ketamine that has been used as an anesthetic for a long time. Ketamine infusions for mental health are used at a much lower dosage. So not only do we understand this drug very well, the side effects and how it works, but we're using it at a lower dosage than it's been traditionally used. In a lot of cases, these are what are called off-label. Ketamine wasn't originally designed for mental health treatments, but we're using a drug again that the public, doctors, professionals are very familiar with and experienced at administering, understand side effects and other effects, and so this is a great pathway into building the infrastructure that's going to be needed again for some of these other molecules as they come up. And so, we see less headwinds, less regulatory risk in ketamine right now versus some of the new and emerging drugs that will take time to build out and to get that regulatory framework in place.
Make sure we get to the research side of the business as well. But before we do that, let's touch a little bit on possible expansion. So, given that, there are still some question marks on the regulatory side, what is the company or what are the company's plans as far as expansion on both sides of the border?
That's going to be a main focus of our business, is to continue to acquire. We believe we've got the experience and, really a capital advantage in this right now. There are lots of opportunities, especially as we look to the U.S., where we're dealing in a private healthcare market. So, we continue to evaluate a number of clinics across the U.S. We're going to be focused on major markets. One of our criteria is that we're looking for clinics with at least 2 years of operating history. And we want to be able to lock in, the operators and to make sure that we've got those critical people that are still aligned with the business and heavily involved. And so, we're evaluating a lot of different potential acquisitions still. Our goal is to get to 30 clinics within the first half of next year, 2022. We think with what we already have in place and the visibility in our pipeline, we've got a great runway to get to that 30 clinic number.
Now, on the research side of things, you mentioned the acquisition of KGK Sciences. Tell viewers what that brings to the portfolio for Ketamine One.
KGK Science is not a well-known company necessarily, but it has a 23-year history. This is a company that's been involved in clinical trials, contract research, as well as a regulatory consulting arm. And so it developed itself in the nutraceutical industry, but it also has strong ties within pharma, more recently cannabis, and now psychedelics. The company's working with 5 different companies within psychedelics, multiple molecules, 2 clinical trials ongoing, and we think this is going to be a major growth area. It's also a very synergistic acquisition for us because, as a clinical trial company, we fit very well together and able to build out a network of clinics and patient base for use to KGK. And so what we want to do is be able to provide a solution that goes right from the design of trials through to the execution of trials within the Ketamine One clinical network, and then all the way through to treatment of patients. So this is all a cash flow portion of the value chain right now, and that's why we're excited about it.
Adam Deffett, VP Capital Markets at Ketamine One. It's an important topic and a lot of interest, coming into the space still at this point, Adam. So, I mean, if anyone wanted more information, what's the best place to find it?
I would direct them to our new website, which is ketamine.one. And there you'll find more information on the company. You'll have access to our investor deck. And if you'd like more information, there's contact information and you can reach out directly.
Appreciate the time today, Adam. We look forward to an update in the future.
Thanks for having me on. Adam
Deffett, VP Capital Markets at Ketamine One. Guys, back to you.
Thank you once again, Brendan. A fantastic, as always, a fantastic interview. I see it on there. Everyone's like, yeah, Brendan's going to get stolen by a major network. That's probably going to be true. I talked about having a plan of action, guys. and we're going to go into that halt trade. I'm showing you a couple of these, and it's the same thing over here in the OPT. You guys were hollering about it that it got halted. You get that reopen, that failure to bust higher. We hang on to this one, so you get in. My average price here, I got a couple of entries that caught some on the way down, $14.47, and we get some in the 20s for about a 35 average price. You're immediately just on the first flush, 75 cents, and then we're able to get like $1.50 on that second half. I'm still holding out for this cluster here. Like I want a $3 winner on the rest of these shares here, and much like that ALF, just going to hang on to it. Either it takes out that high or I get my target. Of the difference between this and ALF, it actually had a floor, so I could have a target downside. On ALF, it was more pre of those halt trades down at $6 where I'm holding out for. So a fantastic kind of setup here that we can play with. You know when the halts come through because they hit that NASDAQ trader halt page, or you can watch it just physically stop trading and getting into it, have a plan of action, and then knock it out of the park, guys.
Guys, right here, Roblox to the downside, big time trade right now. We talked about this one. We're making everything back. Not everything, but the Bulls, the Bears. The Bulls came in early, and then, yeah, look what's happening now. Ding, 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 ding. So next stop, hopefully we can get some 83s if we test this VWAP break. We got some out there, 84.40. Now it's 83.80 to the downside. This is just, again, another $2 winner for your boy here. We're also holding AMC out as well. That does dip down. That would have been a good buy there, but we don't do that. But right now, yeah, we also took some Ethereum, which is now making moves downside there. So Ether, some big shorts here. Short, 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 out, 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 out. So those are big trades there as well. And then BlackBerry, I mean, there's not much else to say about BlackBerry, man. This was my #1 idea for the day. So we will go idea generation time here with BB as this one continues to rock and roll. Good trade there. We'll get out if it breaks 13.05. We put a bid at 12.90 once we saw this happen, but yeah, it made a nice little move backside. So there we go. We're out of BlackBerry right now to close out what I believe, and we'll see, still to come. We'll talk to Neil, but I think the trade of the day. What's up, Brendan?
All right, guys, a couple minutes left here. Let's have a quick look. Make sure, first of all, make sure you come back, join us at 3:15. We'll discuss some of these names during the last 45 minutes of the day. Here are some earnings for today and tomorrow morning. You know, I actually thought there was going to be nothing worth looking at, but anytime you have earnings on like a recent IPO or direct listings, you should kind of care about it at least a little bit because you can get the market responding to it. So yeah, the Honest Company, the only reason I'll even care about, like the volume's done absolutely nothing today and the movement isn't even that big, but hey, it's a recent one, so we are going to care at least a little bit about it here. I should be looking at the daily chart and zooming out for you guys so you can get a look at that. Look, look, there haven't been too many successful IPOs and direct listings. This is another one which has been beaten up a little bit, but it has caught a little bit of a bounce. I think there's going to be some levels to play off of, so I'll probably watch it a little bit tomorrow. But don't forget, we're right back. We're right back at 3:15 for that close. It's always going to be exciting. Today is Fed Day, so it is triple, double, triple, whatever you want to call it, even more exciting than that. I don't know if we have a national day today because I see something which feels like a repeat, Miss V.
Yeah, Neil, I'll explain later. Well, guys, I hope you're having a great trading day so far. Thank you for all the support. And guys, please don't leave without making sure you like this video. Your support is very, very important to us. Come back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And guys, accidentally, I mixed up days, but we have a chance to celebrate Fudge Day again. Woohoo!
I got no problem with that. That's cool by me. You could, like, it'd be just every day can be National Fudge Day. You have nothing to come up with. You just make it be fudge, and then I have an excuse to tell my wife I want fudge, which I didn't have any yesterday, so I didn't win that battle. Let's see if we can again today. Like we said, it is Fed Day. So you are seeing barcoding action on the ES. There's at least some movement in the NASDAQ, but it tried to break the range and is not doing much of anything. This is what we anticipate. Hold true to the levels that you have in your trades. If you got a good one on, you can hang tight a little bit here and not expect a lot of volatility in the broader market till we get to 2 o'clock, and then things will ramp up. And we'll be right back, of course, at 3:15 for that closing show. So you know what we do right here? There it is, Miss V. I know you're on the chat doing hard work there, but for Miss V, for, of course, Brendan Wickens, myself, Neil Roberts, and Sean Katina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close, guys.